Introducing Pubcoin. Pubcoin is the rewards program for pub sports contributors. Regular chat contributors share their play of the day, POD, in the YouTube chat, including the phrase POD in their message. At the end of the week, the amount of units earned are converted into Pubcoins. Pubcoin can be used as reward points for prizes, shop discounts, and contests.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? It's Mills here, Pub Sports Radio. Do you guys want to challenge the personalities here at Pub Sports Radio? Do you guys think you're better than them at entering in your MMA predictions and picks? Would you want to get paid for it? $100? Here's how you do it, man. You sign up right here at the link below. It's just this easy. PubSportsRadio.com. Enter your email. Pick your weekly picks. That's it. Oh, and you get bonus points if you can predict how they're going to win in what round. Every single week, a new winner's getting crowned. So every Saturday on Pub Sports Radio. So come on and check us out. You can win $100 just for signing up. Only thing you need to do is see if you can beat us here at Pub Sports Radio by entering your UFC predictions and picks weekly. Do it. I dare you. See you guys soon.
Your membership to gold, you will be automatically entered in every horse race, every Wednesday and Friday. It is time to race horses. We are racing camels today.
Shout out to the gold members. We're racing in San Antonio immediately here. And we're off. 2 minutes, 74 canals on this racetrack. It's wide. We're racing in San Antonio.
Matt Wally moving forwardly. Jeff Slaughter in the mix as well. And as is Randall Sheffield, who's put that beautiful nose out front.
But it's actually real grass here, Jimmy. Maybe Kentucky bluegrass. Oldie, no! There he goes. There he goes. Oldie in the lead now. K. Wolf falls back. The horses love it. Sometimes they stop and eat it on the way to the finish line. That's why your horses start so far in the back. Here. Oh, look at Nussflush Allen bursting out here. J-Dub in the mix. Rude Boy up here as well. Jimmy, take it away.
There's Oldie. Oldie is moving to the front. We are past the halfway mark in our 2 mile. And there's Ricky Levy.
Oh my goodness, he's in the mix here. Jimmy, take it home. This is our first dog race ever.
19 seconds left in the horse race here. It's Fernando Mendoza trying to find the wire. 14 seconds left. Can Fernando Mendoza take this home? Here comes Kenny Kencan. Kenny Kencan wants a piece of the pie. Put his schnoz up front. Ricky Bobby, 9 seconds left. Can Donut Silks make a run? Can Res Mall make a run to be $50? You son of a bitch! Here comes Tori Coker. Kenny Can Smoke and Mirrors. Director 97 home. That is great. Here comes Jason Meyer, the Eldorado custodian. Billy Frazier. Jones one all coming down to the finish.
Coin! Nowhere!
Oh no! Fanatical Jim!
From the corporate Peter Low Shack, legendary sports handicapper, more dapper than a dom. Father young phenom, known as Jimmy, who declared one day that the bag was here to stay. Information like a PSA, when we all PSR, Pub Sports Radio is all. Is a man named Slaughter and he flipped the script. No competition in this but they quit the trip. But we say we be pubbing, better with the bag and you love it. We want it top 10, we above it.
What up, cappers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers? Happy Thursday, December 4th to all of you. Thank you for watching Betting with the Bag right here on Pub Sports Radio. An important day ahead of us. The free fall in NHL continues. I mean, we have a huge NHL card, so I gotta break through. I did break through the insomnia. Thank God. I got 4 hours of sleep last night. it felt like 15 hours. It felt really good to break through, which means I have a chance at sleeping tonight, which is all very good. But I know what the hell's going on, man. Hockey is crushing me. So this is the first time in my 10 years of doing this publicly that I'm down 30 units. Now I'm up over 30 units in NFL, NBA, and college basketball. So it's not like I'm about to lose everything, but it's very difficult to handle. And I'm just not seeing things clearly. I should be faded. And it's difficult. It's very difficult. I need to break through there. You know, these are tests of character, resiliency. Do you have it in you? So I'm going to dig in and I'm going to fire away and deal with the consequences. Thank you guys for joining us. Everything else going great. I mean, what a performance by Wine Time yesterday in college basketball. The idea that Boston College didn't come through from the +7 loss in overtime is heartbreak hotel, man. He deserved to sweep the board. But I told you guys, we've got to be so keenly aware of these spots in the NBA. I told you guys there was only one spot on the NBA board that didn't make any sense at all and must be bet, and that was the LA Clippers. And they won from start to finish, dominated the basketball game. So that's the most important thing to look for in the NBA, is that kind of, I don't know, diciness, shadiness, something that just doesn't make sense. And we got to hammer those spots. But the Magic did not come through for us. So 1-1 in NBA, 2-1 in college basketball. New Hampshire came through. Harvard's trash. So last time I backed those ass clowns. I mean, we'll see when we get into Ivy League conference play, but good God, they were terrible. Shout out to all the Cappers joining us. Let's get after it today. We got a great show. We have Bobano with us. We have Daby Cab and Nick Frazier with 4 different spots that we are attacking in the conference finals, all Saturday action. I've got 2 bets in college basketball that I have made. I already beat a line move in 2 hours. You know, I only bet it maybe 2.5 hours ago. Beat a line move handily. I bet it at 365. I could have got 2 cents better, but hockey's sort of taken a bit of my liquidity away. So I sent it in, but I got +105 on USF, and I looked just because I was making a different bet in a different sport, and it had moved already to -115. So that's a good sign. I didn't get ahead of the line move in my other spot, which we will talk about here shortly. It's going to help the West Coast Cappers more than the East Coast, because East Coast the game doesn't start till midnight. It's in Hawaii. So we have there's a spot that Jay Peasy really likes in college basketball. Of course, Jay Peasy, the voice that you hear before all of our shows here on Pub Sports Radio. And I decided that we should cap it. You know, he likes it a lot. I didn't move on it yet. So that's the 3rd college basketball game. So Jose and I are going to attack those. Then, as I said, Big 12 Championship, SEC Championship, Big 10 Championship, ACC Championship. Then we roll into NBA with Billy Brisbane. Look to stay hot there. Shout out to all the Cappers joining us. We have action coming in quickly. Justin McKelvey, Warriors, Sixers over 223 at -112. And Jahmyr Gibbs over 118.5 rushing, receiving at -114. I actually have an SGP that I put together, but they're not offering me any bonus of any kind. And I'm not going to send it in unless I get the bonus. So we'll see if the bonuses arrive. They are offering me the bonus in NHL. There's one possible SGP with the bonuses I could move on in NHL. We'll discuss that. Shout out to all the Cappers joining us. So we got stacks in. We got MMA Mad Hatter, who is 2nd right now in our NFL Cappers contest. Mad Cheddar play of the day, Leafs +175, Penguins +175. Billy Friedrich Pig Milk play of the day, Cal State Bakersfield money line. We also have Dizzy Donuts in the house. Scotty Scheffler round 1 money line parlayed with Cowboys +10.5 -154. Cowboys money line, Cowboys Lions all total over 16.5 +240, and Pickens anytime touchdown. We will be discussing the NFL with our first guest here as well. So we have NHL and NFL with our first guest. Then Jose and I will be capping the college basketball situation. Then we'll have Daby Cab and Nick Frazier for college football and Billy Brisbane for the association. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Justin McKelvey, MMA Matt Hatter, Billy Friedrich, Dizzy Donuts, Robert McCormick, Jose Perez, Sharon Pulliam in the house, Johnny Blaze. Let's get Johnny Blaze's action here. I'll copy and paste. I'll have everything copied and pasted. AOD, J-Dub, Saturated, M, The Great, Wine Time Sports. You were a beast yesterday, Wine Time. You deserved, man, to sweep the board. That was unlucky you didn't get the sweep there. You deserved it. Jimmy's Teeth. Halitosis update, definitely. We'll give you a halitosis update for sure. Irish King, the Goracle play today, Milan in regulation. We got Steve G, AM, Hino Ball, Chicago Joe, TA Trader, I got WT in the house. Slatsy here says, why are the Wild only minus 117 versus the Flames? It's a wild line. We've been seeing some crazy lines in NHL, crazy lines. And we've seen them. Look, I mean, we saw what the Mammoth did with that crazy line, but the line towards the Sabres cost me money because I didn't bet the Flyers and I wanted them badly. Should we be paying attention to these lines that make so sense? I think we should. But to what extent is what we need to be figuring out here. We got action from AM. I'm going to copy and paste all of this here. Let's get to work right now, and deliver the goods. There's so much on the line here for me in NHL now. I've never been this deep in NHL before. It's really, really messing with me. And the thing about winning, it's not just the cash, it's the confidence in your edges and angles and firing away. And when you're not winning, you lose that confidence. And I mean, if NFL wasn't the smash and grab this year, if NBA wasn't hitting over 60% with a 15% ROI, there'd be serious problems. I'd have serious problems in my life right now because of what NHL is doing. So yes, I'm thankful that NFL and NBA and college basketball are propping everything up, but I am upset. And we must change that right now. Please welcome our first guest of the show, coming to us from Canada's Black and Yellow, Steeltown, Hamilton, Canada, star of the NBA OG show, star of the Ice Guys, and star of the Hitting the Books YouTube channel. Please welcome our friend Ian Cameron to the show. Ian, how are you?
I'm good. And I'm sad to hear that it's been a struggle for you in the NHL. But I'm telling you, and I'm telling everyone in the chat, you're not going to win in every single sport consistently every year. Like, I'm having a horrible college football season, terrible. It's just, and I'm trying to figure out why. And I think you're probably in that same boat with NHL. It's like, it's not like I've changed things a whole lot, but why is this happening? Why, has the struggle been there? And that's kind of been me with college football. It's not been anywhere close to as good a college football season. But like you're doing great in NFL. You're doing great in NBA. You got other sports where you are doing well. And this is just a fact of life when you're doing this year round. Not going to win every single sport. It's just not going to happen.
I hear you, but I understand that football's king. But if there was only one sport I should be winning at, it should be pucks. So it's throwing my whole life out of whack.
I can tell you for a fact, if I suck in NHL, it bothers me more than other sports where I'm doing bad. Mm-hmm. NHL would be one of those sports for me too. I'd have a harder time dealing with it than, say, if I was bad in NBA or bad in college basketball or whatever. I hear that.
Yeah, it's tough. And but I also am not going to wallow. I'm not going to talk about it again. I just need to be transparent. Unfortunately, I've fallen behind with records for my guests. I will catch up. It's just been such a battle this last little while. So all you're going to see is my horrific NHL record and not the great things that Ian has done on the show in NHL.
Last week it was like plus 5 units and something last week.
It was excellent. So it's my apologies for not having everything here set. But keep up the good work, Ian, and I'm ready to attack with you right now. Let's get to work. We start at 7 p.m. Eastern. The St. Louis Blues 9-11-7, 4-5-3 on the road to the Boston Bruins 15-13-0, 9-5-0 at home. Thank you for that, Steve G, because it's Corpusalo confirmed. I know, AM, I feel that. And I thought I'd turn the corner. And then as soon as Detroit lost me the push the -1 on that 5-2 lead in the third period, I just, you start being a defeatist. You start having this defeatist attitude. When it goes to a shootout, you're going to lose, like I did with Montreal, Winnipeg last night. It's just this defeatist attitude, and I've got to fix that. But let's do that right here. So this is very important, Binnington and Korpisalo, because listed were Hofer and Swayman. So that didn't. Well, the Hofer spot didn't quite make sense. So thank you for that, Steve G. St. Louis power play 19.2%, 16th in the National Hockey League, and a 26th rate penalty kill. A disappointing penalty kill, but one we expected. We didn't think they were going to have a good penalty kill this year. The special team surprises for me are the Boston Bruins and the Pittsburgh Penguins. Now, look, the Penguins power play at 33%. We remember that first year that they made the big trade for Carlson. It didn't make sense, but now we're started seeing it come to fruition here. Their penalty kills being so strong. The Boston power play succeeding the way it is succeeding without McAvoy and now without Pasta is unbelievable. Now, yes, Geeky has been, Rocket Richard-esque so far this year, but it still blows my mind that Pasta and McAvoy could be off this team and they could continue winning. One of the things that's messed with me so far this year is maybe overvaluing injuries. And now we have the Adam Fox injury with the Rangers. The Tampa Bay Lightning and the Minnesota Wild were teams that I was backing heavily in the beginning of the year, and it was killing me. Then they get hit with all these injuries. And they both go on tears. They both win 7 or 8 straight. Am I getting paid off there? Well, no, I'd gotten off the train because of the injuries. And here Boston has a similar situation where they're playing very good hockey despite not having McAvoy and Pasta, 2 of the best players in the world. The Blues coming off a 4-1 home loss to the Ducks on Monday night. This is the first game of a 3-game road trip. I said right in our very first show of the year that I don't know why people are excited about this Blues team. I think they're going to be bad. And there's another situation where I haven't made enough money off of something I was right about. 9-11-7. 9 regulation wins in 27 games. 4 regulation wins in 12 road games. Let's get right into this line history here. The Blues are -145. -145. There's been a huge move towards them. A lot of these huge moves that we've been seeing have not, helped anybody's ROI. In fact, if you've stayed off the spots that you like the Flyers last night, it's hurt you. We've had an 8-cent move overall, but we initially had a 4-cent move. Through the first 12 hours this line was available, there was a 4-cent move to the Boston Bruins, a move that I probably agreed with. Then we just had a 12-cent move 30 minutes ago to the St. Louis Blues from -137 to -140. -133 to -145. From a total standpoint here, we have a 5.5. It's -120 to the over. This opened -108 to the over. We had 12 cents of movement towards this over. And we talk about the Boston Bruins injuries. The Blues have had to deal with their own set of injuries. The Toropchenko, the third scalds his legs. I mean, it's just a very strange injury. It's the third strange injury in the NHL this year. They're also missing Snuggerud. He's on the IR until January 13th here. Ian Cameron, game 1 of a big NHL slate. Blues, Bruins, take it away.
Yeah, Jim Montgomery's back in Boston. Of course, he got fired there. It's his first time coaching against the Bruins since that. I don't know if it's enough to get me interested in St. Louis. I'm leaning St. Louis, but I just don't think they're playing well enough. They're not scoring. Now, they are playing better defensively. They've moved up to middle of the pack as far as goals against in the last 10 games. They're really playing a much tighter defensive, lower event style of hockey. But the problem is they're not generating much. They're not scoring a whole lot right now either. So I lean under in this game. And St. Louis, I might bet them in game if they fall behind, but I'm not getting there at this price. What we're talking -135, 40. With a team that's got a losing road record. And I'll say this about the Bruins. I know they're banged up right now and missing, obviously, Pasternak, especially, who, of course, is leading the team in points. But they're playing hard on a nightly basis, and they've got a good home record. So it's a lean Blues, lean under, but we can move on. Nothing for me here.
I'm going to stick with this plan that's not working, where I'm not going to back a team. I think Charlie McAvoy is spectacular, incredible, definitely top 10 defender in the NHL, maybe top 7, top 6, maybe. I think Pasta is one of the elite goal scorers of our generation. I don't want the Bruins in this situation, and I don't ever want the Blues. I don't think the Blues are a good hockey team. I'm going to have to stay off of this spot as well.
Can't get your preseason predictions all right, and my prediction of the Blues were going to be pretty good. I think that's just about done. Not saying they can't eventually go on a heater and maybe get back into it, but right now I don't see it.
Well, we know who to blame. I mean, there's certain players who've just not taken the next step, and some of these snipers, like a Kyrou, if you're not scoring, you better start doing something else.
Yeah.
You better start defending. You better be accountable. You better take the body, because Kyrou is a figure skater out there.
Yeah.
Let's move on to our next spot on the board. New York Rangers at the Ottawa Senators Canadian Tire Center, Ottawa, Ontario. I wanted to sit back and wait a couple games. Now, what I should have done, of course, was just faded Ottawa in the first games that Brady Tkachuk came back. I wanted to wait a couple games and then start attacking. But here again with the New York Rangers, Adam Fox is out. And I have questioned, whether he was partly to blame for the Rangers not taking the next steps, as a franchise the last couple of years. And statistically, it might not be fair. It might not be fair. He's always producing pretty good numbers, and this is a huge loss for the New York Rangers. Now we see teams step up in their first game, without a key member here, and maybe they do that. But I just can't count on that. I think that Ottawa could become a wagon. They should become a wagon at home. Shabbat as well, still dealing with the upper body injury. He could come off of IR at any moment. Richard X is on the Rangers tonight, and I get that. I get how teams step up in that first game. But I said as soon as Brady Tkachuk and the Senators started winning, I was going to ride them. And I'm going to ride them. So this line's not been moving in my favor. I got the -1. I got the -1 at +112, which was a -146 money line, something in that range. Right now we have a total at 5.5. I thought about the under. I got cold feet. There's been a 3-cent move towards the over. I still have some interest, I guess. I think the Rangers will be playing a lot of under hockey, and there's just been this massive move towards the Rangers. A massive move. Wow. So this at 10:09 a.m. was still a -144. Now it's a -125. 19 cents of movement here. Muralainen confirmed for the Sens. That's the line move here. It's not like Ullmark's been good. It's just name recognition that I guess there's some comfort with gambling. He's got 876 save percentage. The Ottawa penalty kill is the worst in the National Hockey League. There's going to be times when they go up against a team like the Oilers or the Penguins where that will hurt them. The Rangers now without Adam Fox, I do not have high expectations for this power play group. It's a possibility they go to 5 forwards on it. Shesty has been good this year. He's not been great, but he has been good. 11, 9, and 2, 2.45 goals against average, 9-11 save percentage, 1 shutout. The Rangers coming off a 3-2 overtime win over the Stars at home on Tuesday. The Senators snapped their 2-game losing streak with that 5-2 win at the Habs on Tuesday. Tkachuk's third game back. He's got 1 goal, 2 assists, 13 shots. He had 8 in his first game back, and he's a +1. So I'm on the Senators -1, but good God, everything I seem to be doing is timing things wrong here. I could just be on their money line. I could be on their money line and a -1 if I wanted. Take it away for us here, Ian. Rangers, Senators.
Yeah, I'm on the other side of this one, Jimmy, with you here with the New York Rangers. I think this is a positively brutal spot for Ottawa. Terrible, awful. 7-game road trip that ended in Montreal with 1 stopover after being out west. And I have now seen multiple teams with 7+ game road trips. We've seen it a couple of times this year. New York Islanders recently came home from a road trip of this length, and Edmonton came home from a road trip of this length. We saw the Islanders lose to the Blues first game home off that great long road trip and give up the first goal. We saw Edmonton get absolutely smoked by the Dallas Stars when they returned home from a long 7-game road trip. And now you got Ottawa in this same situation. So I think that's part of the reason why the money's come in on the Rangers. I'm sure the Merrill-Linen announcement's part of it. Like I said, it's just, I think, a dismal scheduling spot, travel situation, and that first game home after being away that long for the Ottawa Senators. I think it's going to be very difficult for them tonight. And the Rangers have played their best hockey on the road. I can't figure out why they struggle at MSG, although they did come back to beat Dallas the other night at home, but they've played their best hockey on the road. Adam Fox is a big deal, but Adam Fox was not there against Dallas. They won and came back to win against a very good hockey team. So I'm starting to wonder, and I know a good Ranger fan, one of the Ice Guys family members, John Massey, he's talked about Adam Fox has not been great, not been the same the last year or so that he's watched him for his Rangers team. And I'm kind of in that camp. He's not good defensively. He's not piling up the numbers he did, earlier in his career. There's parts of his game that they miss for sure, but I don't think it's going to be totally the be-all, end-all for the New York Rangers being without him. So I just think it's a tough spot here for Ottawa, and I'm going to go with 2 Ranger bets. This has been a good bet for me lately, this first goal of the first period. We've really had a good bead with this market lately. I really like the Rangers to get on the board early here. So plus 140 at FanDuel, first goal, first period, New York Rangers, and I will also take New York Rangers money line plus 120.
First goal here, first goal in the let me write this right. First goal in the first period.
Goal in the first period. Yep. Plus 140 for the Rangers. Yep.
And then the Rangers line. Yep. Plus 120. Let's just talk about what the Rangers are going to do here. So Adam Fox playing 24 minutes a game. So you have Gavrikov, his line mate, has been playing 23.09. Then what? Carson Soucy was a Canuck. If you start playing Carson Soucy 21 or 22 minutes a game, he's going to fall apart, and he's going to have a big minus player.
I think all of this is accurate. I'm only asking the Rangers to deal with this for one night against a team in a bad spot, which is Ottawa. After tonight, I agree. There's concerns with this blue line.
But
because I'm not a big Scott Morrow fan.
Is it Will Borgen?
Borgen, yeah, he's going to – I don't mind Borgen. Borgen plays hard. He plays physical, plays a hard style. But like I said, do you want him playing an expanded amount of minutes? That's the question. You're right. Soucy hasn't been the same the last couple of years. He's been bounced around from a couple of teams. I love Gavrikov. He's playing great for the New York Rangers, but he can't be out there for every minute of the hockey game.
Yeah, everybody here on the Rangers, I get it. And if you're on the other side of me, that is a great spot to be on right now. Rangers money line for Bobano as well, and Rangers first period goal here, or first goal in the first period. Let's roll on to our next spot on the board. 7 p.m. Eastern, the Pittsburgh Penguins 13-7-5, 7-3-3 on the road at the Tampa Bay Lightning 16-8-2, 8-5-0 at home at Benchmark International Arena in Tampa, Florida. Tristan Jarry, and they had Johansson in there. I was like, what? There's no way. It's got to be Vasilevsky. It doesn't make any sense.
It is Johansson, though. It is. Yep.
Why?
Yeah, off a loss, I'm surprised. A loss that snapped their losing streak. I'm a little stunned by that. I agree. I'm a little surprised.
So I was like, come on, they got to be wrong here. So I surprised about this. Let's get into the line history here for this spot. We have the Pittsburgh Penguins here. Plus 153, opened up at plus 179. This was obviously the goaltending change was probably announced when around 10 a.m. Was that?
Yeah, about an hour or so ago. Yep.
So since then, there's been a 17-cent move against the Tampa Bay Lightning. I just astonished here, that they would do that. But I guess bigger goals. We have a 6.5. That's a total. This total opened up at 6. Minus 115, went to minus 125, went to 6.5 here. Let's grab the quick look at this injury report for Tampa because it's menacing. Braden Point, who is so spectacular, is out. Cernak, McDonough, and Hedman are out. I mean, this team just keeps winning. And I don't know how they're doing it. I do not like the Penguins. They're coming off their third win in 4 games, 5-1 victory at the Flyers on Monday. They're playing very good hockey. Their special teams is elite, 33.3% power play, 84.9% penalty killing. The power play first, penalty killing fourth. The penalty killing for the Lightning is number 1 in the NHL. They've surpassed the Sabres. They're at 89.2%. Their power play at 16.3%. Lightning have their 7-game winning streak snapped and 2-1 loss to the Islanders on Tuesday. Take it away for us here, Bobano, Penguins Lightning.
Now that Johansson's in and Tampa had their win streak snapped and they're coming home off a little bit of a road trip, I think they're vulnerable to get beaten tonight. I think Pittsburgh could be live in this spot. So I'm going to go with money line on Pittsburgh here in this game at let me just see what the best price is out there right now. Plus 165 with Pittsburgh money line. I'm going to take Pittsburgh team total over 2.5, which is a very cheap minus 110. So I like that price. And also the full game over in this game, which is over 6 at minus 114. I like betting against teams when they've had their win streak snapped. And Tampa Bay, to their credit, and this is all Cooper, no Hedman, no McDonough, no Chernak on the blue line, no Braden Point up front. And for this team to rip off the wins they had was just absolutely phenomenal. To be able to do that. But now you had the win streak snapped against the Islanders. You're coming back home off a bit of a road trip. You're starting not that Johansson's been bad. Johansson's actually been better than we've seen in the past. But I just don't like how this sets up for Tampa Bay. Pittsburgh rocked Philadelphia 5-1 their last game, and they responded after getting blown out at home by the Toronto Maple Leafs. They've been very competitive on the road. There's also actually, I'm going to go one step further, and I'm going to tack on the draw in this game as well, because 3 straight road games for the Pittsburgh Penguins have gone past regulation. So I see this being a competitive game, see that there's a chance maybe for OT, and that draw price is pretty nice. You can find that at plus 360. So I will go with the draw here as well.
And the draw at plus 360. God, the Pens are playing their best hockey. Just find it so hesitant to back them at any time.
Yeah, AM got a good price. He likes the Penguins. He got plus 190. Whew.
Oh, that's beautiful.
A really good price on them.
Beautiful, yep. AM. Shout out to Just My 2 Cents in the house. Great to see you. And Joseph Gomez says 5-cent move to the Pens. Don't like that. It's a 26.
Well, Tampa. Look, Tampa could win tonight for sure. Pittsburgh's no juggernaut. Pittsburgh could easily lose this game, but Tampa Bay, you're not supposed to be able to go on a win streak without 3 starting D and one of your best forwards in point. That's just not supposed to happen. So I think there's a little come down effect tonight, maybe, for Tampa Bay, still without all those guys.
Yeah. Look, the Penguins just make sense, but this would be, backing teams that I don't want to back because of the situation has hurt me badly. But I'll take some time with it after the show. Let's roll on. 7 p.m. Eastern. The Nashville Predators 9-13-4, 3-5-2 on the road. The Florida Panthers 12-12-1, 8-6-1 home. Amarant Bank Arena in Sunrise, Florida. UC Saros and Sergei Bobrovsky listed. Both not having good years. Now we expected it from Saros. Saros 893, 2.97 goals against average, 892 save percentage. Bobrovsky 2.88 goals against average, 883 save percentage. Let's get into the line history here for our next spot on the board. We have a couple things going on here. Here we go. We have these Predators at plus 162. It's just another massive move towards the dog. We've seen that throughout this card today. The Predators opened up at plus 195. They're now plus 162. 33-cent move towards the Nashville Predators. Big move. From a total standpoint here, we have a 6. It's minus 113 to the over. It opened up plus 104 to the over. So 17 cents of movement towards that over. Shout out to DC Capper in the house. Let's get into the situation here. Predators come off their 3rd win in 4 games, 5-1 at home over the Flames on Tuesday. 26th ranked power play, 19th ranked penalty kill. Florida, very middling special teams. You see the importance of Barkov on both. Now Kachuk also on the power play, but Barkov on both. 19.1% power play, 17, 79.3% penalty kill, 24. So I see a Panthers team that's lost their first 3 games of a 6-game homestand. going up against a Predators team that just beat up on the Flames, who were in the last game of a tough road trip. I see this huge move towards the Predators, and I don't want to back it. I don't want to buy it. I wanted the Panthers, but I saw this move just moving and moving and moving, and I wasn't going to do anything until we talked about it on the show. But I now this is probably the price where it should have opened at. This is a Panthers team that's won 8 of 15 games at home in regulation. Take it away for us, Bobano. Predators, Panthers.
Yeah, for me here, I'm on. I don't know if they're going to win the game. I mean, I'm on the money line too with Nashville, but I'm on Nashville. I'll make the team total only official for the show. Team total for Nashville 2.5 over 2.5 minus 105. So over 2.5 minus 105. Nashville team total. Here's why. Bobrovsky lately, who's going to be in net, hasn't been great. This team defensively, Florida, has not been great. They gave up 4 to the Leafs, 5 to Calgary, which is hard to believe, 4 to Philadelphia. Nashville scored 3 against Florida last week in Nashville when they got blown out 8-3 in that game by the Panthers, and they still scored 3 goals, which would go over this team total. They gave up 6 to Edmonton. They're just not playing great defense. They just aren't. And Bob's been average lately. Bob's been giving up 3 goals or more in a lot of his recent games. I mean, I'm telling you, Urban Pope in the chat, go look at Bob lately. He's been giving up 3 goals or more in a lot of his recent starts, and this is just not a Panthers team playing great team defense. And I don't like Nashville. I haven't bet Nashville very much at all this year. But, right now, Florida is way overvalued. We're talking about the last place team in the Atlantic Division right now, and they're favored by minus over 200 when this line opens. So, and Nashville got embarrassed by Florida last week at home. So I think there's a little incentive for Nashville to go out and put a much better showing out there tonight against this Panthers team. Now, again, with Florida off multiple losses, I expect them to push too. So I did sprinkle the money line, but for the purposes of the show, I could see this being 4-3 Florida, where, I'm not going to win the money line, but I'm going to still hit the team total. So I feel a lot better about just the team total for Nashville. I will go with that over 2.5 minus 105. I'll also tack on, because there's still a couple books that have over 5.5 at a reasonable number, over 5.5 minus 130 for the full game total as well.
Over 5.5 minus 130. I really love 6-game homestands where a team has lost the first 3 of them. But I've got to sit with it longer. I mean, do you want to go up against these line moves? 45-cent line move towards the Sabres last night with the Flyers coming off losing badly.
Not all of them are right. That one I did not agree with. That one I didn't bet Philly. I should have. I had the over, so I was still fine, but should have been on Philly. I did not agree with all that money on Buffalo.
No, it's nuts. It was absolutely nuts, but God, hard to not respect the books. Let's move on to the next spot on the board here. 7 p.m. Eastern, Colorado Avalanche 19-1-6, 8-1-4 on the road at the New York Islanders 14-10-3, 6-6-2 at home. I'm going to have to back the Panthers after losing the first 3 games of this homestand. But certainly going to wait, see how far this line moves against me. Avalanche Islanders here, UBS Arena in Elmont, New York. Mackenzie Blackwood looking very, very good to start the year. I'm not sure if he will be, and he's listed right now. I love that DC Capper. We'll be talking about that next. 6-0-1, 1.84 goals against average, 930 save percentage, 2 shutouts. This is a phenomenal hockey team. 26 games played, 1 loss in regulation. Ilya Sorokin, 8-8-2, 2.57 goals against average, 905 save percentage, 2 shutouts. There's certain teams that care so much about the opportunity to play the Avalanche. And, of course, Patrick Waugh, who starred on the Avalanche, will be pushing his you expect them to really care about this hockey game here. We have a total of 6. It's minus 118 to the over. 3-cent move towards the over. Open up minus 115 to the over. Now it's minus 118 to the over. We have a money line here for the Avs, minus 185. Opened up at minus 195. It got up to minus 206 before this big drop down to minus 185. It actually got down to minus 180 before it moved to minus 185. Then we have the injury issues for both teams. We'll start with the Islanders. They, have been getting healthier. They know that Palmieri is now gone for the year. That's a tough break. Pajot is out at least for a couple more weeks. They've been playing without Engvall all year. He's out all year. It's not that big of a deal. Romanov and Ethan Bear are out on defense. It's a lot to be dealing with. And the Colorado Avalanche here been playing without LOC and Gavin Brindley, two depth pieces. Now Wedgwood is day-to-day as well. We have the Colorado Avalanche dominating the NHL with the 25th ranked power play in the National Hockey League, 16.1%. It's confusing. Now, their penalty killing is third. The Islanders have the 10th ranked penalty killing. The Islanders have the worst power play in the National Hockey League. Avs coming off their second straight win, 3-1 at home over the Canucks on Tuesday. Isles coming off snapping their 3-game losing streak with a 2-1 win at home over the Lightning on Tuesday. Take it away for us here, Bobano, Avalanche, Islanders.
Yeah, we can move on. I have nothing here. I mean, I'm not stepping in front of Colorado. Islanders, though, after a little slump winning, I could see them giving a battle here to the Avs. Sorokin's been good. Problem is Blackwood in net, and after a little bit of a rough start, this guy is back-to-back shutouts for Mackenzie Blackwood. The last two times he started for the Avs, shutout against Nashville, shutout against San Jose. He started against Montreal after that and played well, gave up only 2 goals. They pounded the Habs 7-2. So he's won 3 straight starts. 6-0-2, sub 2 goals against average on the season for Blackwood. So yes, they'll miss Wedgwood, who's been awesome. Probably have been even better than Blackwood. But Blackwood's been good the last little bit. Lean under. But the problem is, it's been an over series. Look at the games against when the Islanders have hosted the Avs, 4 straight have gone over and way over the total. So a bit of a conflict there, but I'm not excited about the over here. With the way these teams are defending, the Islanders are struggling to score. Colorado, as AM alludes to, has been an under machine on the road. So just a pass for me.
I want the under. The Avs have been playing to unders on the road.
Especially,
and this, you have to feel like, I don't know why I'm adding so much to this Patrick Waugh situation, but I feel like this game means something to the Islanders. It's a chance for Sorokin to step up. You have a special teams that are going to do nothing. The 25th and 32nd ranked power plays in the National Hockey League. Now, when I've said that, just because of the year-long statistics doesn't mean that's going to happen tonight. Urban Pope saying that, Avs been defending well on the road. I want the under 6 here. I want the under 6. No. I expect to move on it. Let's roll on. 7 p.m. Eastern. Toronto Maple Leafs 12-11-3, 4-7-0 on the road. The Carolina Hurricanes 16-7-2, 8-3-1 at home at the Lenovo Center in Raleigh, North Carolina. Kent Davies talking about a big 15-cent move towards Chicago. I mean, that line was nuts. The lines were crazy. I knew when I saw the opening lines for the Oilers and the Kings, I was like, well, it's going to move against them. How could they be? And then the Kings and Blackhawks, they play twice here in LA, but let's talk about this Leafs spot. Leafs coming off their second straight win, third in 4 games, 4-1 at the Panthers on Tuesday. This is the final game of a tough 6-game road trip. I mean, that's a fade spot for me. Now, I've heard MMA Mad Hatter is backing the Leafs. He's also backing the Penguins. Those are his 2 spots on the board, both at plus 175. I mean, that's a great card to have. But, this has been a stress, pressure-filled road trip for Toronto, which they've stepped up. They've played with heart. They played with character. They've reinvigorated that opportunity to get back into this playoff race. They're going to be doing it without Brandon Carlo and Chris Tanev, 2 important defensemen, but their forward group is healthier. Let's take a look at this line history here. For this one, we have this total at 6. It's minus 125 to the over. 6.5 was the opener, but it was just minus 101 to the over. So it's basically the same was where it was at. And then on the money line here for this one, we have the Carolina Hurricanes minus 210, opened up at minus 195, now minus 210. And, I don't want that Flames game to be stuck in my head, but it's tough. It's tough to end a road trip. It's tough to end a 6-game road trip. You're tired. You're about to go home. You have things you got to worry about at home. Joseph Wall's being great, though. 2.52 goals against average, 920 save percentage. Freddie Anderson's not being great. No real surprise there. 878 save percentage. Toronto power play 27th in the National Hockey League, 15th ranked penalty kill. Carolina has the second worst power play in the National Hockey League, which is a surprise. 13.7%. It's, I guess, predicated on their defense taking a big step back this year because it's basically the same forward group. 79.7% penalty kill, 22nd in the National Hockey League. When have we seen the Carolina Hurricanes with a bottom 10 penalty kill? In the Rod Brindamore era, I would say never. Take it away for us here, Bobano. Leafs, Hurricanes.
It's surprising. It's surprising. There's no question about that. Gosh. I don't love that it's the last game of the road trip. I really don't, for the Leafs. But Carolina, we'll see. They beat Winnipeg, who have not played well. Calgary obviously 1-0 in overtime. Winnipeg again before that. Boston, Vancouver. I mean, Carolina's just not right at the moment. They're not. I expect them to be better when they get everybody back. When they get everybody, healthy again, the goaltenders in the regular rotation, they get Anderson and Kochetkov, alternating starts again. They get Jacob Slavin back, who they've missed a ton. I expect they're going to be that one of the better Eastern Conference teams and Stanley Cup contenders I predicted them to be. But right now, there's a lot of inconsistencies with Carolina. Leafs lost a tough one against Carolina back home last month, 5-4. That was a game that went back and forth. And the Leafs ended up falling to the Hurricanes in that one. Toronto did beat them last year here in Carolina, and I like the way they've played the last couple. The Pittsburgh game was a great road game. The Florida game was a great road game. Joseph Woll, who's going to be in net tonight, has been absolutely tremendous for them during this stretch that he's been back. So I was on the fence. I wasn't sure if I was going to move on this, but at the price, it still stayed pretty good. I can see plus 185 at Betway and at Bet99. I will take Toronto. I'll put that on the card, plus 185.
AM saying Leafs more motivation, Leafs better form.
That's the one thing that's big advantage for Carolina. They have been off since Sunday. Have not played. They haven't traveled since then either.
Game 4 of a 7-game homestand. I mean, what a sweet spot.
Yeah.
What a sweet spot.
We're betting prices, not teams. Remember that. It's not like I love Toronto to win the game. Carolina can easily beat them, and Carolina's great at home. We're betting the price, though. Price is a little too rich for me on Carolina.
Yeah, I'm gonna fade the Leafs here in this last game. They're getting hell here in Toronto, and it was nice for them to go out on the road and get away from all of the heavy critique. And now, what do they get to do? Come back to it. I'm going to be on the Hurricanes here. This
is one of those games where there's sound logic to backing the Leafs and sound logic to backing the Hurricanes. There is on both.
Yeah, no, I get it. I'm with Barry Smith here, but again, I can being on the other opposite side of me is a great spot to be right now. So let's roll on. 7:30 p.m. Eastern, and I get why AM's on it. I get it. It's just this is a spot situationally where. Now, it's possible. It's very possible that the Canes don't come out fast. This will be a for sure live bet, with the rest that they've had to take advantage.
If the Leafs go ahead, Carolina live, you could look in that direction. I might even do that. Like if I can I've got Toronto pregame at plus price. If I can get Carolina at a decent plus price at some point, I'm absolutely betting it. 100%. Lock in profit. Be stupid not to.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm right there with you. Captain Crunch says Oilers are Kraken. I'm looking forward to talk about that game. Very looking forward to talk about that game. 7:30 p.m. Eastern, Detroit Red Wings 14-11-2, 5-5-1 on the road to the Columbus Blue Jackets, 12-9-5, 5-3-3 at home, Nationwide Arena in Columbus, Ohio. I've got Talbot versus Merzlikins. Merzlikins, again, how many chances is this guy going to get? 3.49 goals against average, 895 save percentage. Cam Talbot, back to who he is, 886 save percentage. I know he got off to a good start. Slatsy says Kirill Marchenko returns after missing 4 games for the Blue Jackets.
Very big return. Yeah,
he's such a big body out there and a sniper. Now, it's not. He reminds me just visually, but he reminds me visually of Todd Bertuzzi. Now, he doesn't have that. I'm going to smash your face into the ice. But he plays with an edge. It's not that he doesn't play with an edge, but he's so big and he's got such talent and he's got such soft hands, and it's a big addition here to have him. Barry Smith giving us a final score of 5-3 Detroit. Detroit 21.6% power play, 11th, 23rd ranked penalty kill. The Columbus Blue Jackets penalty kill has been a problem all year, 74.2% ranked 28th. Columbus 16.4% power play, ranked 23rd. Let's get into the line history here. Because Detroit just doesn't do enough for me. It doesn't do enough for me, but this line's moving towards the Red Wings. They've gone from plus 110 to plus 102. The Jackets have gone from minus 125 to minus 116. We have Columbus snapping their 4-game losing streak with that 5-3 win at New Jersey on Monday. Before that 5-3 win, 8 of their last 11 games had gone to overtime, which is insane. Detroit comes in off snapping their 4-game losing streak with a 5-4 win at home over the Bruins on Tuesday. And this is game 1 of a tough 6-game road trip. Take it away for us here, Bobano, Red Wings, Jackets.
Yeah, this is when you look at obviously these two teams, Detroit, bouncing back. Both of these teams snapped losing streaks. So it's like I kind of want to back them, both of them, because, snapping a losing streak. I usually like to bet on teams after snapping a long losing streak. But like I said, both teams have snapped at the same time. Columbus beating New Jersey, Detroit beating Boston. Red Wings have won 7 of the last 10, including 5 of the last 6. So they've had the better of it in this series. The over is what I love. This might be my single best bet of the card. Over 6.5 here with Detroit and Columbus. Marchenko's back. That helps the Jackets offensively. Over 6.5 minus 105, by the way, is the price with that. Marchenko back for Columbus. Columbus, 5 goals after struggling to score. They finally broke out against New Jersey for 5. They're struggling defensively. They've given up 3 goals or more in 4 of their last 5 games. Detroit, offensively, Detroit's been fine. They've scored 3 goals or more in 5 of their last 6 games, but defensively, they've allowed 3 goals or more in 6 straight games. And then it's series history is the clincher. Detroit and Columbus, when they get together, it's just a ton of goals. 6-0 to the over in the last 6 meetings. All 6 of those games, 7+ goals. 8-2 to the over in the last 10 meetings overall. Like I said, 6 straight overs in the series, and all 6 of them have had 7 or more goals. So yeah, over 6.5 here, Red Wings Jackets.
Over 6.5. I want the Jackets.
And we have Merzlikins in net, who is not as good as Jet Greaves.
No, he's not. But Talbot on the other side kind of makes that.
Yeah, you don't know. If you could get great Talbot where he stands on his head, and you can get 4 or 5 goals allowed, Talbot.
Yeah, I don't know if I get there with the Jackets, but I'm certainly interested in them. They've only played 11 games at home. Now, they've only won 5 of those in regulation. So it's not like they're a dominant hockey team at home. This will be wild. Let's keep rolling here to our next spot on the board. Next spot on the, by the way, we got the respect play of the day on CSUN. We're going to be getting into that right after NFL, and I've got that copied and pasted. But let's roll into our next spot. Minnesota Wild, Calgary Flames. Wild 15-7-5, 7-4-1 on the road. Calgary Flames 9-15-4, 4-4-2 at home at Scotiabank Saddledome. Calgary, Alberta. Gustafsson is listed here. They've been going back and forth from Wallstead and Gustafsson. Wallstead, on his way to a possible rookie of the year here. Gustafsson, 906 save percentage. Dustin Wolf, just an 890 save percentage this year, not really taking the next step that was expected of him. We have Minnesota power play at 23.7%. Nice job. Justin McKelvey got that over 6 in that Columbus-Detroit game in his pocket. I like it.
Got it early and got the 6. Very good. Wow.
Excellent work.
Yep.
Minnesota here, 7th ranked power play, 21st ranked penalty kill. Calgary's penalty kill just 2.4% better, but ranked 9th. And the 4th worst power play in the National Hockey League. Wild coming off their 8th win in 9 games, 1-0 at Edmonton on Tuesday. This is game 2 of a 4-game road trip. The Flames finished up their 2-2-1 road trip with a 5-1 loss at Nashville on Tuesday. And this is game 1 of a 4-game homestand. This line is nuts. And, it just takes time to sit with. I mean, who in their right mind would want the Flames against this Wild team that is seemingly just playing so tight and smart defensively? Their defense doing everything I thought. Remember, I'm on their season win total over, which I thought was a complete bust 3 weeks ago. We've had this line go from Minnesota minus 125 to minus 115. The Flames are just plus 101. They're just offering up anybody who wants the Minnesota Wild, which is absolutely nuts to me. This total is a 5.5, basically at a pick 'em. Had a big move to the under. The under 5.5 opened up plus 109. Now it's minus 107. 16 cents of movement there. This is a wild one, Bobano. Take it away, Wild Flames.
Yeah. I have not gotten myself in trouble with just talking myself out of a line that made no sense. That's been working for me, is just sticking with it and saying, okay, why the hell is San Jose against Utah a few nights ago? I thought it was outrageous. San Jose was priced like that, and I took San Jose and they won. That's what's been happening more often than not. When I think something's a little like, why is this so short? Why is this so high? And I don't question it. I stick to it and I bet it. And I'm going to here with Minnesota because I do think it's cheap. We got Calgary off a road trip. It's not a great Calgary spot at all by any stretch of the imagination. They're obviously not the better of these two teams right now. Minnesota is. I would have liked it more with Wallstead in net. He's been absolutely outstanding here for the Minnesota Wild. It's going to be Gustafsson. But Gustafsson's picked it up the last few starts. I think he realizes, Wallstead's been lights out. If I want to keep my net and still get starts, I need to play well. So, and the price has dropped all the way down to minus 108 at one of these lower juice books that I use. So minus 108 Minnesota. I'll take that.
It's crazy. Not you being crazy to bet it.
The line being where it is.
The line is just insane.
Yeah.
Absolutely insane. Shout out to Deacon Mike in the house. Barry Smith says the line screams flames. Oh, it does. From the top of a mountaintop.
It screamed Utah at San Jose the other night, though, too, and I took San Jose. So
it screamed Utah last night at Anaheim.
It did. It did.
So, I mean, but yes, it's not. I mean, it screamed Buffalo against Philadelphia. I mean, it's very
case by case. It's erratic. It's not.
But if you just trusted yourself on every single one of these spots, I think you'd have positive ROI. Because I mean,
not every fishy line leads to the trap. Some do, some don't. That's what we're seeing. That's the point. Yeah.
I think that Barry looking at the Flames money line, I respect it, but the under 5.5 seems. I mean, the Flames are playing low scoring hockey as well. And we know what is working for the Wild. When you have
I would lean under with any Wild game. I mean, you almost have to bet an under, especially when Wallstead's in net. Like, that guy's not giving up anything.
Oh, he's been spectacular. Let's roll on to our next spot on the board here. Seattle Kraken and Edmonton Oilers. So the Oilers have had the worst schedule in the National Hockey League to start the season, and this was their first extended homestand. And I was talking to TJ, and I was like, that first game is tough. I think they're going to sweep the homestand. That first game is tough. And they lose 1-0. We've had this huge move towards the Kraken. Honestly, the Kraken can have revenge all they want. But the Oilers know that they need to win, and they need to win now. And I looked at the line, and I couldn't believe my eyes. I was like, how could the Oilers be minus 240? Are you kidding me? I mean, it's just
there's a bunch of those on the card for me, from my perspective.
Oh, yeah. And these two games, especially.
Wait till we get to the last game we're about to talk about.
AM's on the Kraken money line plus 195. The scoring drought bet on teams losing its past two games while scoring at most 3 goals into those defeats. Bet them tonight if they're on the road with the money line that's better than minus 125. But I am with Steve G that this is Oilers get right game. I think also that goals will be scored. Now, this is moving heavily to the under. This is a 5.5 now. This total came out under 6 at minus 125 and didn't move. We just saw the 4-0 game when these two teams met. I just think there's going to be goals here. We've heard that Calvin Pickard was announced in. Look, maybe you'd want Skinner if you had a choice between the two, but it's not like you're getting a big difference in goaltending. DeCord in the other side. DeCord's starting to turn into a pumpkin himself. Edmonton power play third in the National Hockey League, 28.8%. Their penalty killing 16th, 81.1%. Peanut also on the Kraken. This is the first time, Steve G's the first person I've seen on the Oilers. Everybody else I've heard and seen on the Kraken so far, but I want the Oilers. And I'm just curious to see, when does this line move end? Now we're getting at a reasonable price. It's hard to say that when the line moves 42 cents against you. I mean, who could be confident when the line moves 42 cents against them? Minus 240 down to minus 198. This last move was 40 minutes ago. An absolutely wild situation. Seattle comes in off their third straight loss, 4-0 at home to these very Oilers on Saturday. In between, the Oilers came home and lost to the Wild 1-0 on Tuesday. This is game 2 of a crucial 5-game homestand. Urban Pope says, can't bet the Oilers minus 1. Hell no. I can, and I will. Take it away.
And I will, damn it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it. Love the confidence. Even though I'm against you here.
Yeah.
A little bit. I like Seattle first goal of the first period in this game. I mean, this is something we've talked about on the ice, guys. I've mentioned it. 6 of the last 7 of the last 8 games now, Edmonton's given up the first goal at home. 7 of the last Edmonton home games, they've allowed the first goal. Seattle has not played since that 4-0 shutout loss at home to Edmonton on Saturday. So you've got rest. You've got a chance to come right back against the team that shut you out, and I expect a strong start. And this Edmonton team has just been miserable starting out of the gate in these home games. Just awful over and over again, constantly giving up the first goal, and often in the first period. So to be able to get Seattle, I like that even more than Seattle money line. I like Seattle first period, first goal, plus 170. You can get that at FanDuel. I like that. I will tack on the money line as well, but I personally have a little less on that, but I will make that official too, because the price to me is just too rich to pass up. Plus 185 money line with Seattle as well. Look, Edmonton, if they wake up and McDavid and Draisaitl, just go off and they finally get some depth scoring, which they've not had of late, they could certainly win. And I will agree with you about Decord. Decord's not been as sharp for Seattle lately. So there's pathways to win this game for Edmonton. Hell, they haven't won in Edmonton ever, the Seattle Kraken, since they've been in existence. So that's another positive here for the Oilers. But again, we're betting prices, not teams. And Edmonton at this price at home, I mean, it's been rough. It's been a rough go at home. They got to show it to me. So we're on those 2 Kraken looks. First period, first goal, plus 170, and the money line.
Yeah, you're in business. I'm going to be on the Edmonton Oilers. We'll decide exactly how much here. When live betting NFL, when I stick to the script, I succeed. We hit the under 50.5, 53.5, and 57.5 on Monday night. If you're watching the game, you wouldn't want those bets. And then people were saying, Jimmy, you're chasing, but I wasn't caring about what I was watching. I was caring about my plan through study. I had a plan, and I have a plan here. And at this point, I've been holding back because of lack of confidence, because of how the season's gone for me. I'm going to go back to my plan. Look, I don't care about the Seattle Kraken. I don't care about them at all. I couldn't care what they want to do, how long they've been resting, whatever. I don't give a fuck.
Don't give a hoot.
But we have an Oilers team now with Nuge.
I'll be honest, Seattle's not
back.
I'm not cozying up to bet Seattle long term, this is not a great Seattle team. I think we can all agree on that.
But again, I can completely understand every angle that you guys are backing the Kraken with, completely 100%. I'm not calling out anybody's.
If Edmonton's even just minus 150, minus 160 in this game, not minus 220 where they opened, I'm probably not touching Seattle. I can tell you I'm not touching Seattle, but this is about where they're priced.
No, I get
totally off with what I'm seeing from them, especially at home.
We got to speed up. I apologize for holding us back here.
That's all right. I got 5 minutes. We're good.
Okay, but we do want to hear your take on the NFL game. So let's get into this final spot on the board in NHL. Chicago Blackhawks, LA Kings, Crypto.com Arena, Los Angeles, California. Blackhawks coming off their 6th loss in 7 games, 4-3 in the shootout at Vegas on Tuesday. This is the first of 2 straight games for the Kings. They play here again on Saturday night. LA comes in off their 5th loss in 7 games. 3-1 at home to the Capitals. Before that loss, 4 of their last 5 games had gone to overtime, which is wild. That game was extremely difficult to watch. 1-1. You have the power play start the 3rd period. A very stupid play by the defenseman, not understanding that the penalty was ending and the Capitals were getting their player out of the box. All 3 goals Capitals scored in that game were absolutely beautiful. The penalty call, the refereeing was just driving me absolutely nuts. It was such a difficult time watching it. And the line opened up at a crazy, crazy price. Minus 225. The line opened up for Oilers minus 240. This has gone 20 cents towards the Blackhawks. And look, I get it. Take it away for us here. The Kings power play 3rd worst in the National Hockey League. Can you believe at this point? I'm hoping Doughty comes back to the power play. How bad is your power play that you need 40-year-old Doughty on it? Take it away for us, Bobano.
Oh, I forgot. Seattle team total as well for the last game. Over 2.5 plus 106. Plus 106.
Sure.
Plus 106 on that Seattle team. And I wasn't going to take that as well, but with Pickard's, there's a lot of 3, 4s, and 5s on the Pickard ledger when he's been in net. So he's given up 3+ in almost every time he's been in there. So to be able to get 2.5 at plus money, I will take that here in this game. Yeah, plus 190 Chicago, Jimmy. This is another one. It's a dog card today. I'm either going to live. The dogs are either going to be healthy or the dogs are going out to the woodshed, and I'll be going out there with them if it's a rough night for the dogs. But this is just, how do you do it? How do you endorse LA right now, especially at home? I mean, they've been brutal at home. Jonathan Davis, a great friend of ours and friend of the Ice Guys show. He's always in our chat when the show's on. He's on VSiN doing hockey spots. He covers the Kings for a long time. He said they looked totally disinterested until they fell behind in that game against Washington. How does that happen the other night? When you're struggling, you can't string wins together. You got a 3-8 record at home, and it takes being down 2-1 in the third period against Washington the other night to finally get going, because they said they looked lethargic, a step slow for 40 minutes that night against the Washington Capitals in that home loss to Washington. Washington wasn't in a great spot.
Terrible.
They're traveling cross country from a road game against the Islanders. And that's the effort you're going to put out there? This coach is an idiot, Hiller. I don't think I think he's a disgrace. I think he shouldn't have even been brought back, in my opinion. So when I see the Kings, a 3-8 home team, laying a price like this, I am gladly interested in fading them. And you got Chicago off a hard-fought, tough effort. You knew Vegas was going to be dialed in with Carter Hart playing his first start, and Chicago was toe-to-toe with them. Played a really good game, had a chance to win, lost in a shootout, 4-3. You look at series history, LA's won in Chicago, but Chicago won the last time they were here in LA last year versus the LA Kings. So, yeah, this is just, again, I don't think the Oilers at home have been playing anywhere close to good enough to warrant this price, and I feel the exact same way here about the LA Kings. So, Chicago, plus 190 for me.
You're in business. And I saw that game a little differently. I watched it very closely. The Kings got 3 shots in the first period. Then they took over the second period. The first period was an absolute disgrace.
Yeah.
Absolute abomination. Yeah. It was shocking. But they took over that game, and they had all the momentum in that second period. And then they had the power play to start the third period. And there was this egregious call that should have been called. Trevor Moore had this one-timer in the slot. A two-hander broke his stick, and there was no call. And at that point, I was like, okay, let's just stop this. Saturate says, what do you guys think of the Blackhawks long term this season? I think they're going to be really good. Finish 10th in the conference.
I'm talking about 2-3 years, really good. Like this year, I think it's going to be hit or miss making the playoffs. I think they're going to be in the mix, but I don't know if they've got the push in them to get there.
I think really good for them is 10th in the conference.
Yeah.
But they're not making the playoffs. But they're look, Bedard's going to be very.
I'm not going to say no for sure, but I don't think so. Is where I'm at with that.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to say no.
Knight's been great. Sure. Knight has saved their bacon on occasion.
He's been incredible. Let's just hear. I'm going to break down the NFL Thursday Nighter fully with market movement and all that here with Jose in a second. But I know you're on a time crunch. Absolutely, Deacon, you're on, my man. Take it away for us here. Your plan of attack for Cowboys Detroit Lions.
I don't know if I can bring myself to step in front of Dallas. They look galvanized with the kneel and death and what they've done since then, and their offenses look great. Dak's playing great. Let's give him credit. I know he's done nothing in the playoffs, but Dak Prescott has been tremendous here these last few games. Pickens and Lamb have been outstanding. Williams is now starting to run the football with some success. Quinnen Williams has at least made this defense respectable. I still don't think they're a great defense, Dallas. And the one thing I will say about the defense before we get too carried away about the Dallas defense, they played the Raiders, who's one of the worst offensive lines I've seen in years, and shut them down since they got Quinnen Williams. They played Philly. Well, now we know Philly's got offensive problems, right? We were all glowing about the Cowboys defense against Philly, thinking, what a great performance. This Dallas defense is getting better. And then Philly goes back home to Chicago on Black Friday to play the Bears, and that offense looks out of sync and disjointed again. So, but that kind of takes some shine, right, off the Dallas defensive performance against the Philadelphia Eagles in that game. And then we saw them against Kansas City, and yes, they beat Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs on Thanksgiving, but the defense was leaky. They gave up 28 points. Chiefs were moving the football a little bit in that game. You got Detroit off a home loss to Green Bay where they still moved the ball and still put up points in that game. Let's give Jordan Love a lot of credit. He was able to pick apart the Lions defense there in that game. He played one of his better games of the year in that 31-24 victory. I think there's a better defensive effort in store for the Detroit Lions tonight. Meanwhile, I think their offense, on this fast track is primed for a better performance than last week against Green Bay, simply because I don't think Dallas's defense is like Green Bay. Green Bay's defense is capable of being dominant. I don't think Dallas is there on the defensive side of the football, even with the addition of Quinnen Williams, which has helped. So I've gone back and forth. I got an early over in this game, but it's moved now. It's 54.5. I want to give you something on the show as an official play. I think that number's, in a spot where I think it's moved a little too much. It's not my favorite look on the game anymore, the full game over. I am going to go with, for the show here, it's a little juicy because it's minus 148 with this team total at Pinnacle. But it's juice worth laying because I get it below the key number of 28, and that's significant. I'm going to take Detroit Lions team total over 27.5 minus 148. Again, this is more of a price that I'm laying here that I normally like. I don't normally like to lay almost minus 150, especially with the team total, but to be able to get it still below minus 150, which is my cutoff, to get it below that key number of 28 with the Lions here, I think Dallas defense has been a little bit better. Don't get me wrong. But Raiders throw it out. Raiders offense stinks. Eagles even take some shine off that because the Eagles offense has been a mess now for a few games. The Kansas City game, we saw Dallas still struggle in that game against Mahomes, give up 28 points. To get Detroit team total below that 28, lay juice to get 27, and I'll do it. I think it's worth it. Juice worth laying. Detroit team total over 27.5 minus 148.
You are in business, Ian. Thank you so much for rocking with us here on these Thursdays. We absolutely love it. Lions team total over 27.5 minus 148. He's also on the Blackhawks plus 190. Seattle first goal, first period plus 170. Money line plus 185. Team total over 2.5 at plus 106. He's on the Wild minus 108. He's on the over 6.5 in Detroit, Columbus. He's on the Leafs at plus 185. He's on the Preds team total over at minus 105 and the over 5.5 in Nashville, Florida. He's on the Penguins plus 165. Pens team total over 2.5. Full game over 6. Draw at plus 360. He's on the Rangers first goal, first period plus 140 and the Rangers plus 120. Ian, thank you so much for rocking with us. Tell us a little bit about what's going on.
It's going to be a true game time decision. People pondering that in the chat. I'm sure Jimmy will get into it more later when he talks about the game. But yeah, looks like it's going to be a true down to the wire game time decision for Amon-Ra St. Brown tonight. But yeah, Jimmy, great. Always great to break down the card with you. Thanks again. Great stuff. Shout out to everyone in the chat. Good luck with your wagers. Jimmy, good luck to you tonight as well. And we will see you more than likely Sunday once again for the NFL Pub Hub. We'll see you then.
I love it. There he is, Ian Cameron. Please check out Hitting the Books YouTube channel as well as the NBA OG show and the Ice Guys starring Ian Cameron and Alex B. Smith. Let's bring on our producer here, the backbone of Pub Sports Radio, to talk about this Thursday nighter and to talk the 3 college basketball games we have on our schedule. Before we're joined by Dabra Kadabra, the Magic Man, and Nick Frazier from the Water Cooler Talk Sports Show, please welcome from San Antonio, Texas, our friend Jose Bouquet. Jose, how are you?
We're doing all right here. Still trying to master the camera, but we're doing all right. Can't complain.
It is nice to see you, my friend. We have a massive football game here, a huge, huge football game for both teams. I've spent a lot of time with it and know exactly how I want to attack it. Cowboys, Detroit Lions here. Let's just talk about this line history first. I've already bet it. This total is a 54.5. I do see a 55 at a very sharp book. I know Cabber's on the under. And probably not a comfortable sign to see it climb this high. We have Detroit -3. There was, oh, geez, 3.5, baby. Detroit just moved to 3.5 just now, right now. Oh, I love it. Fucking love it. Detroit moves to 3.5. Oh, yes, sir. 65%. Oh, it's changed now. 62% of the tickets, 64% of the cash on the Dallas Cowboys. I don't see 3.5s at the legal American books. I am on the Detroit Lions here. I got -3 at -110. There was a thought that we might be able to get the 2.5. And then it was clear. So that I would wait. I didn't bet it Tuesday night, waited till Wednesday, and then got the spot here. This is the key point. And I've, you can check out Troy and I's breakdown here on Pub Sports Radio. I've talked about this game, quite a bit. I think that the number one point here, and you guys can say the number one point is the Cowboys' defensive fortifications, or Dizzy talking about how Detroit's not the same team as last year. All that's legitimate. Look, I'm not here to pump up the Detroit Lions here. What I want to do is talk about when have we seen the Dallas Cowboys on the road this year in true road games? We saw them in the first game of the year lose 24-20 at Philadelphia. They played okay. Then we saw them at Chicago lose 31-14. They beat the Jets. They lose to the Panthers. And they get destroyed by the Broncos. I don't care about the Vegas game. I don't think that's a true road environment. They've been horrific. They've been terrible on the road. They've proven nothing on the road. Nothing. So, yes, they just beat the defending Super Bowl champions and the Kansas City Chiefs at home on a fast track in their perfect spot. Now here we have a fast track, but there'll be no time for Dak. And look, Dak is a very talented quarterback, but he needs time and he needs to hear himself. And when he calls audibles, he needs the players to be able to hear him. I mean, no one has ever said, Dak Prescott is the smartest the intellect on that guy. That no one ever talks about that. He's got skills. This is going to be a very, very difficult spot for him. Optically, everybody and their mama on the Cowboys, until recently, we've seen a bunch of Lions backers come out of the woodwork. Everybody and their mama on the Cowboys. And it more so, not really with the actual gamblers. Like here, even if I pull up the Action Network, it's but if you go into pools and things like that, if you talk to your friends, they're all on the Cowboys. They cannot believe that we get 3, and that's all they will tell you is how what an incredible situation that they're in to have the Cowboys at this number. At Action, we have 77% of the tickets, 81% of the cash on the Dallas Cowboys. This is absolutely perfect. And Vincent Hawkins says Cowboys win and cover. You will find out tonight. We will find out, Vincent. And look, I get it. There's so many of you on the Cowboys. You're in great company. Your pool is full. This is buy low, sell high 101 against the Cowboys team that's not proven a goddamn thing on the road all year long. Yes, they have fortified defense, but this is so wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Elmore says so many on the Lions. Show me. Prove that. Steve Miller says everyone I watched has said they like the Lions. You watch some good cappers, Steve. Jose, take it away, my friend. We are fading the public. 4 of every $5, according to certain sites, is on the Dallas Cowboys on the spread. I think this is absolutely wonderful. One of the best spots on the board this week. Take it away, Jose Bouquet. Floor is yours.
Yeah, I agree with you. I will say transparently that our guys that in the building, they are on the Cowboys as well, and they wanted me to join them. So $150 bet on the Cowboys money line between the three of us there. So maybe that'll make you feel better, Jimmy. So I'll be rooting for the Cowboys tonight, but I agree with you in the narratives. The Lions have been stewing on a home loss on Thanksgiving to a rival team for a week, and the Cowboys have been getting praised by the media for the last week. So, I agree. I think the Lions are the spot. I'll probably have them in contests and such, but my money monetarily, 2 units, is on the Cowboys money line transparently. So I'll be rooting for them, but it'll be a fun night on the live stream nonetheless here, Jimmy, myself, whole cast of characters, starting at 7:20 Eastern, right, Jimmy?
Yes, 7:20 p.m. Eastern. We're doing it up.
Yep. So just tune in. That'll be a whole lot of fun. Cowboys backers come in, say we're wrong, say we're right, the whole thing. So definitely tune in.
Yeah, I this line too. If you are sitting here, if you already have the Cowboys +3 and you see these 3.5s come up, this is a huge sign by the market. A huge sign. This is just absolutely wonderful. It's going to be such a fun game. And KT here on lines on the alt line -5.5. I thought about adding to my position with a double result or something of that sort. What I'd rather have is to be able to attack it live if the Cowboys go up. So that's I think the plan at this point. Here,
definitely seems like a high scoring game.
The line is this total is very high. I know a lot of people on unders in this game as well. Maybe if there's an early cut, this is going to be so much fun tonight. It's going to be so much fun. So join us here, regardless of what side you're on. Look, this isn't about us agreeing with each other. The show has never been about us agreeing with each other. So many of you guys I love capping with, regardless if we're on the same side or on opposite sides. Vincent Hawkins, my man, it's fun. This is more fun. We're not all holding hands. It's fun. Saturated says no Amon-Ra, no bueno. Look, I don't think Amon-Ra is the best wide receiver on the Detroit Lions.
Oh,
I don't. And everybody will see that and learn that now over the next little while. Certainly next year we won't be having this conversation. Everybody will know that Jameson is the best wide receiver on the Detroit Lions. So, who's the most important player on that offense? Jahmyr Gibbs. Yes, absolutely. Well, I haven't at this point, I don't have. I've got to sit with my action here. If you're in our Discord, you'll get it all. If you follow me on X, you'll get it all. At this point, it's to fade. I would fade my action here until I heat up. So, but at this point, I'm only on a line that's moved heavily against me in the Senators. So, Justin McKelvey agreeing with me here as well. And Deacon says, change your shirt. You look like a giant plant. Okay.
It's always nice words from Deacon.
I'll do that for you, Deacon. I'll do that for you, my friend.
What kind of plant, Deacon? What are you imagining?
Yeah, a plant with big tits, I'm guessing. All right, let's get into our college basketball. Nice 2-in-1 day for both me and Wine Time, although Wine Time should have swept.
I almost started talking about your tits, and then I censor myself there.
Well, thank you. Thank you for that.
No problem.
That's right. If you want to talk about my tits, you can just put it all down on paper. Just write it all out.
Okay, fair.
Let's roll into a college.
Should I give you that paper?
Sorry?
Should I give you the paper about your tits?
Yes, mail it. Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
Fair enough.
Let's roll here. Yeah, Ronnie. Oh, look there. Sorry, I did miss your NFL. I have your basketball here, Ronnie Crawford Pelicans.
On there with you.
The Red Wings. I did not see that the Lions are there as well. Detroit Lions. Oh no. Oh yes. Sorry. I missed the NHL and NFL up. The Detroit Lions spreadsheet play of the day from Ron Crawford. He's also on the Detroit Lions. That move to 3.5 is just absolute heaven. Just spectacular. If you're listening on headphones, turn it down a little bit. Also, Coin saying this game is the 4th highest total in Thursday Night Football history. The previous 3 all went under this total.
Wow.
Let's roll, Jose. We have 3 games in college basketball. Now, 2 of them I've bet. The other game, the middle game, is a spot where I really want. I just wanted to talk it out because our guy Jay Peasy has moved on it with confidence, and he knows these Cali teams really well. Interesting. That's a good call. Troy Torrance says, put up a poll. Put up a poll for the Lions game. You don't need to do that right now. You can do that once we're done college basketball. But set us up, my man. Let's go to town.
Sure. I thought we were talking about Jimmy's tits again for a second, so I got excited. But let's talk about Utah State and South Florida here. Now, I'm sorry, I should have had this pulled up before, but everyone knows what you guys are thinking in the chat right now. I know it. How much to get in here? And good news, everyone. Only $23 to enter the mighty USF building here, where Utah State is getting 82% of the bets and 75% of the money here. And funny enough, Jimmy, I can see why you're interested. Utah State opened up -2. BOL now down to a pick'em. At other places like Bodog, as they say up north, -1 South Florida right now, and where the anonymous gambler applies his trade, also -1 South Florida right now, Jimmy. So please tell me you're on the Bulls.
Oh, yeah. This has been working for us all year long. Here's a Utah State Aggies team that maybe on a neutral court, we'd be on them. They have not had a real road game yet this year. This has just been working and working and working. And I'm just going to stick to it. I bet USF. I got them +105. They were +107 on an offshore, but I just sent it into the local at +105. This Utah State team, these teams all have to prove it to us. You know, why was it so easy for Arkansas to beat Louisville last night? Louisville had never been in a real road environment. And we were betting a 5-2 team against an undefeated team that hadn't played on the road. And it worked out absolutely, absolutely beautiful. South Florida fits all of this. South Florida has only played here at home twice. It was against Cupcakes. You know, it is not, but they won their first game by 35. They won their second game by 50. And now they're back home against a team who's not played on the road yet. They've also lost 3 of 4. They just lost to Colorado State. That was a very difficult tournament they were in, the battle for Atlantis. And it's good. It's good to get a slap in the face. You know, when they lost to Colorado State, they lose by 15. They're down 4 at the break, and they lose by 15. Colorado State shot 61% from the field and 73% from 3. I mean, this is wheelhouse. This is absolute wheelhouse. We can take advantage of the undefeated record that the public's staring at. We can take advantage of a team that's never played on the road. God, I feel like I've already cashed it. I swear I feel like I already cashed it.
Well, I joined you. I'm on it as well. I put 2 units on Pick'em, or I guess Moneyline -110.
Oh, no, wager. Okay, yes, because I have sent you one. Okay, thank you for letting us know. We'll get that fixed here. Urban Pope says he wants to back Utah State, just not in this spot. Says Utah State will be in the tourney, though, experiencing. Look, Utah State's a good team. It's a good team. We're just, but you know, Kong's Clip says they played like absolute shit in the first half. Look, these teams that haven't played on the road, no one's saying here that Arkansas is a better team than Louisville. They're just saying when you haven't played a road game, prove it. That's all. Just prove it. Just prove it. So, it's a beautiful spot. South Florida Bulls. I got +105. There's not that much of a difference in +105 and -110. Obviously, you want to cut your vig down as much as possible, but I don't think anybody should be afraid to bet it. This is a rested team coming off the Atlantis slap in the face, playing against much tougher competition against teams not playing on the road all year. Perfect. Wheelhouse. Perfect.
Well, let's keep rolling here into our next game here, and I always love talking about these teams, or at least hearing about it. UC Riverside versus UC Irvine. I can only imagine the UC rivalries going on in old California with Wine Time and company here. So let's talk about where this line has moved and where the market is right now. Unfortunately, no side information on this game. We have 72% of the bets and 87% of the money on the under in this game. But we have UC Irvine being 11.5-point favorites, going up to 12.5 here now at BOL here. It officially opened up at 11.5, got down to 11, and then came all the way up to 12.5 here. What do you think, Jimmy?
Well, this is the spot that our guy Jay Peasy is on. He's on UC Riverside with a ton of confidence. A ton of confidence. We got Kong's clips, college football action here. We're going to be getting college football within about 5 minutes. Thank you for sharing that with us, Kong, my man. Texas Tech first half and Virginia money line here. The ROI of bets that Jay Peasy has sent to me is extremely high. And he's certain that Riverside stays within this number. We've seen Riverside travel with success. That was a very impressive 85-71 victory at San Diego. It was a hugely impressive victory. They were big dogs. They went in, they took care of business. They dominated. They shot 55 from the field, 47 from 3. The problem is I just need a sign from the books, and just didn't receive it in this spot. I'll keep an eye on it here. UC Irvine, we know the Anteaters are a good squad. They've also played against tough competition this year. They're coming off a nice win against San Jose State. The Anteaters are going to be a really tough out in the Big West. We know that. And they faced New Mexico State and South Dakota State. They faced both of them. They're in neutral sites, and they played okay. I mean, they're I guess South Dakota State Jackrabbits are not a team that anyone fears, and the Anteaters still shot 39 from the field and 24 from 3. So I'm not going to say that they played well, but they went down to Cancun. They played good basketball, good enough basketball to beat some of these weaker squads, and I understand that UC Riverside should be able to stay within this number. I just what would you need to see from the market to move on UC Riverside here? Would you, if this was an 11, would you move on them, Jose, with JPZ's vouch?
I would hope that there's more bets and money on UC Irvine, like a ton more. And our guy Kent Davies saying that he's got 60% of the bets and money on UC Riverside here. And the line moving towards Irvine, which is worrisome. So yeah, it'd have to go back down to like 11 and a half. And if the tickets were 50-50, especially.
Yeah, no, I'm very interested in the spot. Dizzy Donut on double result. UC Irvine bought 2 points to UC Irvine minus 10.5. Took it with the over 139.5. Hooligan Cappers is on Riverside plus 12.5. Thomas Reinhardt says, if I'm already on the lines minus 3, is it worth adding to the minus 3.5? No, it's not worth it. No, if you wanted to do something more, Thomas, you could take the double result. You could take them first half alone, or you could wait to live bet them in case they go down off the hop. Because remember, the first scripted plays are Dak's best opportunity. Calling the audibles at Ford Field is impossible. Impossible. So with all that being said, I'm going to keep an eye on this spot for the Highlanders. And again, JPZ knows this squad very, very well. This is the opening up the Big West accounts for both teams. This is a big game. And I can understand his thought of Riverside staying in this game, as we've already watched travel to San Diego and beat a team that's rated much higher than them. So, but let's move on to our next spot on the board here. And Mikey Money in the chat, been a long time, man. Nice to see you. Let's roll into Aggies Rainbow Warriors in Honolulu, our late spot of the day before we get into our college football conference championships.
Yeah, shout out to Mikey Money in the chat here. He won't be awake for this game because, old man got to go to sleep early. Shout out to you, Mikey. But Hawaii and UC Davis is the game we're referring to here. So it should be a fun one nonetheless here, regardless of what time it is on here. Right now, we don't have any information for side or total at Wager Talk, but I can tell you guys that this line has been plummeting towards UC Davis -10. Hawaii goes down to 9, comes up to 8.5 for a little bit, but then goes right back down to 8.5 and then down to 8 currently at BOL. Bookmaker at 8.5. But same story there. 10, 9.5, comes down to 8.5 here. Touches 8 as well. And it looks like it might have just moved down to 8 here in the last few minutes as well here. So UC Davis seemingly a market darling here if the total, or if we get information on that side. But the line moving towards them rapidly.
Yeah, this is a situation I really, really like here. So I am on UC Davis Aggies, and I wanted them at 9.5, but was doing other things and moved to 8.5 in front of me. So I have the 8.5, unfortunately. But this is a good UC Davis Aggie squad. They're good. They're good. They've already played in tough environments. They went in Nevada, beat them. That's not as tough nearly as Colorado, and they lost there by 16. But let's talk about the situations and why we like them so much here. Hawaii went up against Hawaii Pacific. A little in college, the Sea Warriors in Hawaii. And what happened? The Hawaii Pacific Sea Warriors took the Rainbow Warriors to town. It was a tough game. It was 88-76. Hawaii was only up 5 at the break. They won by 12. It was, they were supposed to win this game by 40. So what happened? Their coach laid into them. Like what we see, like you guys weren't ready. You thought you were going to dominate this team. You guys weren't ready. You weren't ready to play. And what happened? This fucking Div 3 college almost beat you. So what did they do? They annihilate North Dakota, right? Because they slipped up. They weren't ready to play. They annihilate North Dakota. They beat North Dakota 92-55. And they're monsters again. They shoot 58% from the field. They completely out-rebound the Fighting Hawks. They think they're the shit again. And now the UC Davis Aggies come in. The line's moving towards them because this is the opening of the Big West season for both teams. And the Aggies stay in this game. They stay in this game. So I got the plus 8.5 full game. I should have got that 9.5. I was just slow to press the button. But this is this type of situation that I love so much in college basketball. You guys know I love it when a team absolutely annihilates the opposition and sits back and receives accolades. And then a hungry team like the Aggies comes in to open up their account. It's possible that the first half would have been a better look. But it's just a situation that I love very, very much. UC Davis Aggies plus 8.5. So my spots tonight at this point in college basketball. And shout out to Wine Time. Should have swept the board yesterday. Gone 3-0. Losing Boston College in overtime was heartbreaking. But I went 2-1 yesterday. We're going to go. I would like to go 2-0 today. South Florida Bulls plus 105. UC Davis Aggies plus 8.5. And of course, with Jay Peasy on the UC Riverside Highlanders, I'll keep an eye on the spot. But I like this very, very, very much. Very much. Kent Davies talking about the line move towards Green Bay versus Robert Morris. It was insane. I was thinking about backing Robert Morris yesterday, and when I saw how heavy he was moving towards Green Bay, I stayed off of it. That was, it's nuts. It's nuts. But yes, my two spots: UC Davis, South Florida Bulls. Let's get this money. Small college basketball card here, especially for those of you on the West Coast, though. West Coast, you get the Hawaii Rainbow Warriors last game on the card. Fun action to have.
I'm out of retirement with you. I shuttered my doors, Jimmy, on Sunday. I was like, I got my ass kicked last week. I'm retiring for the week. And now, just like Jordan, Jimmy, I'm back.
Wearing the 4-5?
Yeah, well, hopefully I'm wearing the green and whatever fucking color that UCF is, those putrid ass colors. But I'm right there with you. Pick 'em, money line, UCF for me as well.
I love that. And Warbucks saying it's down to 7.5 at BetMGM. God, I should have got that 9.5. I'd feel really good about it. But I love it. I like this. It's a small card, but I like it very much. Now we have Capper saying lay it with Hawaii. Urban Pope and ICAP for dollars. If you guys want to lay it with Hawaii, do wait. Do wait, because clearly, this line's moving towards UC Davis. Circa moved it to 7.5 40 minutes ago. They opened it up at 9.5. They haven't given us the public ticket count, but look, Aggies are going to be in this basketball game. So if you do still want Hawaii, wait.
Oh,
what's up?
I see. I was reading Justin's comments, and he said, "Glad you're back, like cooked cracker, Jose." I was like, "What does that mean?" And then good. I cook crack. Cook crack is back.
Yeah, we don't cook crackers.
Well, I had questions.
Except on the basketball court, I guess.
Well, those are back. Those are back.
Citadel Davidson over 142.5 for AM here. Blowout over. Bet the over when a team is a big favorite and the game total is under 150. Kent Davies on the under 139.5 in that game we were just talking about, the Robert Morris Green Bay game. It is time to get into college football championship football here. We got 4 big games on Saturday. You want to stick around with us, Jose?
I have no opinions. I will tell you this, Jimmy.
Sure.
I do my little guess the lines, guess what the lines are going to be for the NFL games this week.
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't believe that the Packers were 6.5 point favorites. I was like, what the I probably would be leaning Packers this week, but just based off that. But no real analysis. I wish everyone luck. Really big game to talk about here, and 2 very excellent cappers to do it with.
And did you move on the under 47.5 with me in Steelers Ravens?
No, I didn't. I haven't moved on that. Should I be?
Well, you would have 5 points of CLV if you had
it. Well, I guess I'm not. I'm going to sit back and miss the party.
Yeah, it's we're gonna show out on this party, man.
I wish you luck.
Thank you, my friend. We will talk soon. It is time to get into college football. Big 12 championship, SEC championship, Big 10 championship, and ACC championship. Let's start by welcoming our experts. First, the star of Medicate Mondays and the tailgate right here on Pub Sports Radio from Dallas, Texas. Please welcome our friend Daby Cab to the show. Dabber, what's good, man? How are you?
Oh, man, ready to rock. Championship weekend, college basketball heating up. It don't get better than this, man. Shout out to you guys in the chat, man.
This is going to be fun. And Richard also saying there'll be a lot of time to get those numbers live during the Steelers game. Yeah, if I'm wrong. But if I'm right, it goes down to a 37 right away. But I hear you, Richard. There's always those opportunities in any live situation. Great to have you here, Daby, for these big conference championship games. Let's bring on our next guest, the star of the Water Cooler Talk sports show, and also a big part of our college football programming this year. I'm betting with the bag. Excited to work with him here as we've come to the culmination of the conference season. Please welcome our friend Nick Frazier to the show. Nick, what's good, man? How are you?
Man, I'm doing well, man. How you feeling?
Feeling good. Oh, yeah, we have the respect. Sorry, I did have that copied and pasted as well. The respect play of the day here from Res Mob. Sun, first half -2.5. Well, fellas, thank you guys for joining us. We are hammering 4 conference championship games. Just before you set up the graphics, because we will be cutting this out, Jose, give me 1 second to move everything over so we can make this quick and concise here. Get this. Okay, there we go. And let me get the cash flow over to college football. Beautiful. And then we get the odds page over to college football. Okay, we are in business. Thank you guys for joining us here on Pub Sports Radio. It's time to talk conference championship football with Daby Cab and Nick Frazier, and we have some beauties in store. First and foremost, Kong's Clip says this is the bet of the decade. Generational wealth spot. Texas Tech here Texas Tech for Kong's Clips. The Red Raiders in AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas here against the BYU Cougars. And these wins from the Red Raiders have been becoming more and more dominant as the season went on. Just absolutely smashing and grabbing these opponents. And one of those smash and grabs was at home on November 8th against these very BYU Cougars. Beat them 29-7. It was very, very impressive. It was an impressive game. They put up 368 total yards, held BYU to 255, forced 3 turnovers, did everything that they needed. Were in complete control. 10-0 after 1, 13-0 at half, 19-0 after 3 quarters. They just completely took care of business. Now, can they do it again? Let's take a look at the line history and hand this over to our guys. First off, we'll talk about the spread. Texas Tech is minus 13. We were given this from Kong's Clips early in the week at 11 or 11.5. There were different opportunities for him, and this quickly moved to 13. This took about 16 hours to go from 11.5 to 13. This did get up to 13.5 a couple different times. But this is where we stand right now. That minus 13.5 also got to 14. It also got to 14 for a minute on Monday. So we've had a big move towards Texas Tech. From a total standpoint here, we have a 49.5. The opener was 50.5, dropped to 50, and then to 49.5. So we've dropped 1 point. When we get to the cash flow for the Big 12 championship, we have 52% of the tickets and 57% of cash on Texas Tech. So they're not overly public. I see a lot of 12.5s on the board, but Circa, very sharp book, has moved it the furthest to 13 here for the Legal American books. We have 57% of the tickets on the over and 68% of the cash on the over. Daby Cab, you've had a great read on these Red Raiders this year. Take it away.
Matt, I tell you what, I haven't actually moved on this yet, this game, but like I'm very close to it. Knee-jerk reaction, like I want the under here. You know, you look at both of these teams and both of these teams' games in the past, you know, a lot of them are getting into the 60s, high 50s, 60s. You know, UCF with BYU got in the 60s. Tech put up 49 themselves against West Virginia. You know, game before against UCF got, you know, way up there. Game against Kansas State got to 63. You know, I can keep going. These teams put up serious points. And I'm going to say, you know, what everyone knows, but some people try and act like is not true. The Big 12 is not good. Okay. Texas Tech, very good football team. They're men playing with boys outside of this BYU team because they've got so many other Mormons that take that fucking field trip and then they come back grown men. Right. So we've got a little bit, how do I say it? We've got a little bit, these are the two adults in the Big 12 here, right? But Texas Tech just outclasses them. And if you watch that first game, their defense was giving up nothing to BYU. I mean, nothing. And I think that's the same statement Tech makes here. I like the under. I lean towards Tech as the side. I'm not going to get there because on an under, I don't want to have to lay, you know, 13 points, 11 points, wherever it's at. I really like the under, and I might get there before the game starts.
Kong's Clips has Texas Tech minus 10.5, minus 11.5, minus 12.5. First quarter minus 3.5. First half minus 7. BYU first half team total under 9.5 and full game team total under 19.5. The man is attacking, looking for generational wealth. Our guy Kong's Clips. Let's hear from our guy Nick Frazier, Water Cooler Talk Sports Show. Take it away. Your thoughts on the Big 12 championship?
Yeah. Looking at this game, man, the one thing I look at is when you saw them play the first time, what was it? BYU turned the ball over 3-4 times in that game. The thing about BYU is, man, I think they are a pretty well coached team. I do believe that. Will that defense come out here and will they slow down Texas Tech? I don't think they do. But will the offense with Bachmeier, will they come out here and turn the ball over 3 more times to get in this game? If they don't turn the ball over like they did in the first game, are we looking at a game that's not a 29-7 game? Are we looking at something that's probably 24-14 or 24-17 or something in that vein? I look at this game, man. I always say it's hard to beat it's hard. It's hard to beat another team twice, but here I look at this and I say I think Texas Tech has those dogs to do that, especially when you have a billionaire that's willing to spend a lot of money on a roster to win football games. Looking at this game, I'm definitely with Daby Cab on this one. I'm definitely taking the under in this game. Definitely taking the under in this game. But I am flirting with taking BYU in the points because I just don't believe that you're going to see that same offensive output from them in this game. I don't see a world where they come out and turn the ball over 3 more times again against this defense. I just can't see that happening. But I'm definitely going to take the under in this game. And I'm going to go ahead and officially say I'm going to take BYU plus the points, plus that 13.5.
We're going to be moving on BYU as well. Nick on the under 49.5 and moving on BYU as well. Let me see if I can find that 13.5. I see 13s now. Most of the 13.5s are gone. We have 12.5s popping up as they're talking about in the chat. But I can get you a 13. Oh, no, I can get you a 13. And I can get you a 13.5. I can
get a 13.5.
Yeah, there's one last 13.5 sitting here right now. I can get you the plus 13.5 at minus 108 here for Nick. 13.5 at minus 108. Daby Cab, why don't you put a bow on the game after hearing Nick's breakdown on the under, something that you were interested in, and moving on BYU. Final thoughts.
Yeah, we're both there with the under. I've watched Kong just make boatloads of money on this Tech team, and I know he's super high on this game, and that probably is what's keeping me away from the BYU side. But I'm not going to lie, man. I do agree with you. If they don't turn the ball over 3 times, I'm not saying BYU wins this football game. I don't think there's a world where they do, but I do think there's a world they keep it within 10 points.
Yep.
There we go. That is our game 1, the Big 12 championship. We move on to the SEC Championship, 4 p.m. Eastern on Saturday, Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, Georgia. The Alabama Crimson Tide facing the Georgia Bulldogs. This is going to be must-watch action on Saturday. We have, Alabama beating Auburn 27-20 to close out their year. They lost at home to Oklahoma. It wasn't the best finish. Even that home victory over LSU was underwhelming. That win at South Carolina was underwhelming. Previous to that, if you go back to mid to late October, Alabama looked like they were turning into a monster. I feel like some of those feelings have changed slightly. Georgia beating teams comfortably. That last victory over Georgia Tech, probably not the best example of it. 16-9. They only got 260 total yards. It wasn't too impressive, but overall body of work wise, Georgia deserves to be ranked higher. And of course, these teams played each other. We saw these teams play each other. It was a big 24-21 victory for Alabama at Georgia. Alabama put up 397 yards. They got 25 first downs. The big number in that game, if you guys remember, was that Georgia went 2 for 8 on third down. 2 for 8. Alabama went 13 for 19 on third down, which allowed them to dominate time of possession 35-36. Alabama was up 24-14 at halftime. Didn't score another point, but took care of business 24-21. Can Alabama beat Georgia for a second straight game this year is the question. Let's take a look at this line history here. Game popping off at 4 p.m. Eastern. We have Alabama plus 2.5 at minus 105. They opened up at plus 1.5, got to 2, and then to 2.5. So we've had a 1-point move towards Georgia. From a total perspective here, we have a 47.5. That is exactly where it opened. 5 cents of movement to the over. That's it. Just 5 cents of movement to the over. Hooligan cappers here on Georgia. Wager detective on Bama. Justin McKelvey says, imagine beating us twice in the same year again. Richard says Bama loses and will be sitting at home, so Miami and Notre Dame both can get in. Urban Pope is on Georgia money line. Let's get this cash flow up and then hear from Nick Frazier. We have here
Notre Dame.
66% of the tickets, 67% of the cash on the Georgia Bulldogs. The legal American books are all at 2.5. Most are at a pick'em. BetMGM, Caesars are juiced towards the Bulldogs. 60% of tickets on the under and 93% of cash on the over. That is such a alarming amount of money on the over with the line not moving that I feel required to take a look at a different site, even if I don't trust the site, that being the Action Network. Let's see what they have on this total, if they have similar numbers. First off, again, one of the reasons why we don't believe in this site is they've got all of the money on Alabama, 40% of tickets and all the money, which is ridiculous. And then on the total, though, they have 75% of the tickets and 69% of cash on the over. A lot of people believing in the over, but this line not moving a cent. It's moved, 5 cents. 5 cents with all that money. Take it away for us, Nick. Georgia Bulldogs, Alabama Crimson Tide. It's your conference, and it's the championship.
Yeah, just for the record, both of these teams are my team's rivals, and I wish both of them could lose. But to be fair and to be frank, you're looking at an Alabama team all season that neither one of these teams to me have been what a lot of people would say have been dominant teams. I think they've been in a lot of close games, and then when the result of the game at the end of the games have shown them to be, they make plays in the right moments. They make plays to make the game look as if it. You look at Alabama. Alabama goes on the road to Missouri, has a close game there. I think the better quarterback on the field was Todd Simpson that day. You look at them against Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt holds them to field goals in the second half. That is a tie ball game. Diego Pavia fumbles, has a couple of turnovers in the first half. That changes that game. You look at Georgia. Georgia comes to Auburn. Auburn could go up 17-0 in that game. A fumble in the first half on the goal line when Auburn going in to score changes the momentum of their game and changes the momentum of the Auburn team. And Georgia just walks their way back into that game. You even look at Georgia against Tennessee early on in the season. Tennessee gets up on them, they come back, and that game goes into overtime. A missed field goal by Tennessee in regulation changes that game, and Georgia walks down the field in overtime and wins that game. I look at these two teams, and when you look at the game that they played against each other, Georgia is a drop pass away from actually winning a game at home. It was 24-21 game. Georgia had an opportunity to come back and win that game. They, like you said, they didn't allow Alabama to score any more points in that game. They did score. I think they ended up scoring 11 more points or 14 more points or something like that in the game in the second half or something like that. And I always say it is hard to beat teams twice in a season. And when you look at Kirby Smart, he's never beaten Alabama in the SEC championship game. He has beaten them in the national championship game. So for me, looking at this from a rational point of view, this is an easy bet for me. I'm taking Georgia on the money line to win this game outright. Is where I'm going. I'm looking at this Alabama team that's kind of faltering towards the end of the season, and you look at Georgia that's kind of going this way. So that's my official bet. I'm taking Georgia straight on the money line.
Georgia on the money line for Nick Frazier. Daby Cab. We got the SEC Championship here. Can't wait to hear you take it away.
Yeah, I got two bets here, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to try and pick a side on this one. I understand why people like the over. Every year, these teams play to the under, and then they get together and you think it's going to be an under, and they put up just crazy amount of points, and beat the crap out of each other offensively. It seems like every time Georgia and Bama get together, we get points, of late at least. What I did here, and I'll start with my Georgia side of the bet, especially since we got Nick Frazier here. I love using the same last name. I got Nate Frazier, okay, the running back. You heard me talk a little bit negative about the guy a few weeks back. He was, I don't want to say losing his position to Bowens, but Bowens was definitely the number one back, getting the ball more, starting to get it more and more. And it was against Mississippi State where Frazier put up 181 yards. And it was almost like he was angry when he was running the football. And I was paying very close attention to it because I was on Bowens, right? I was on the other side of it. I thought Bowens would hit his prop. And Frazier was getting the ball and just making like everybody miss, running over people. He was mad that he lost his spot. And since then, he's put up 72, 54, and 108 against Georgia Tech. He's got the ball more and more each game since then. So I'm going to be on his rushing prop in this game. And right now you can get it at 60.5 yards, minus 114. I think it's a great bet. I do have a bet on the other side for Alabama as well. I'm going with the young phenom, the sophomore receiver, Ryan Williams, over 44.5 receiving yards. That's obviously he can go under that total. He went, I think he only had 41 against Georgia last time. But guys, he can get that in one catch. He can get that in one play. Hell, 2 receptions, he's likely to have 44 yards. So Ryan Williams, over 44.5 yards. I love that bet. I love both these bets. I'm going 2-0 in this game. I'll tell you that right now.
What was the number for Nate Frazier?
60.5.
Over 60.5. Was a big minus 110 on both?
No, 114 and 115. Sorry.
No worries. Minus 114 and minus.
I rarely get a minus 110 on props. It's kind of gross.
If we, that was, the books that do that are, they got me to stop. Now the books changed, but at one point they'd always give you more vig on the player props, and I stopped betting them because of it. But you can still win. You can still win in the long run. It just makes it more difficult. Cab, tell me, if you were forced to pick a side in the SEC Championship, at 2.5 or on the money line for whatever you want. I know you've watched these teams so closely all year long. I'm curious to hear if you're leaning towards a side.
I got to let what I want and what I think not be the same thing. What I want is I want Alabama to lose. I do not want A&M to play Notre Dame in the first game of the playoffs because
will Notre Dame get in?
If A&M plays Notre Dame at home against Notre Dame and Notre Dame goes to A&M and beats A&M, this whole season don't mean shit. You lost to Texas. The one good team that you beat came back, and I do not want A&M to play Notre Dame. That is a worst case scenario. Alabama has to lose this football game or BYU has to win, or Virginia has to lose. One of those things needs to happen. The most likely of those happening is probably Alabama losing. So I would like Alabama to lose, but because that's what I want, I don't know, man. I don't know. I guess Bama, but Jimmy, I'm not betting aside on this one. I'm really not leaning one way.
We have a question here before we move on to the Big Ten Championship. We have a question from Thomas Reinhardt that says, does it concern you at all that Williams didn't play in the Iron Bowl?
Yeah, one target.
What'd you say?
Yeah, one target in the Iron Bowl, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. That doesn't concern me. If he was dealing with like an injury or something and just taking extra time to get better, I got no problem with that. And if he had a target, he was still on the field.
I don't have him with any statistic.
He didn't have one target. He didn't record any. He didn't record any like any yards, anything like that.
Okay.
He didn't get a target. I think he got one target.
Okay. We have our cappers making moves here. Nick is on Georgia money line at minus 135. Daby Cab on Nate Frazier over 60.5 rush yards, as well as Ryan Williams over 44.5 receiving yards. Thomas said, he looked fine on the sideline. It seemed like Horton just moved up in the depth chart.
He did. Yeah, 3 touchdowns last week.
He's a monster. What a fun game. 4 p.m. Eastern, Georgia, Alabama. Let's roll into the next spot on the board here. The Big Ten Championship. Wow. Can the Hoosiers menace against the mighty Ohio State Buckeyes, who have just been running over the opposition, going into Michigan, beating them 27-9. This certainly looks like an unstoppable force. Indiana has a chance here, ranked second in the nation. And this is the game that everybody wants to see. Can Ohio State get messed with even a little bit? Let's take a look at this line history and the cash flow for these two undefeated squads. We have Ohio State a -4. They opened up at -5.5, and within the first 40 minutes, this got up to 6.5. Not only that, but the 6.5 looked like it was going to go to 7 a couple times within the first 2 hours that this line was available. That changed after about 2.5 hours of the line being available. It moved to 6. And then the following day, it moved to 5.5. Then on Monday, it moved to 4.5. And then yesterday, Wednesday, December 3rd, it moved to a flat 4, which is where it stands right now. So we've had a 1.5 move towards the Hoosiers. From a total standpoint here, we have a 48. This opened up at 49.5. We've dropped a 1.5 down to 48. And when we get to the cash flow for this spot, we have 56% of the tickets and 63% of the cash on Indiana. Now, I use the threshold at 60%. If it's over 60%, then it's a public play. And we all know what happens to public road dogs. Well, they lose and they don't cover. It's not there yet. 56% of tickets, 63% of cash is not there yet. We have 4s at almost all of the legal American books. Actually, that's not true. ESPN Bet, Hard Rock, and South Point and FanDuel all hanging 4.5s. Circa and the rest of them hanging 4s here. Daby Cab, the Big Ten Championship at Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis, Indiana. Take it away.
You know, this is one of those situations where it's like, if Ohio State beats Indiana and beats them comfortably, I don't think any of us are going to sit here and say anything about it. It's one of those things. It's like, the most likely thing that'll happen happens, right? Like the opposite of Murphy's Law, where anything that can go wrong will go wrong. I think this situation where the public's betting on Ohio State, and if Ohio State does win this game comfortably, we don't bat an eye. We're just like, okay, yeah, Indiana really never beat anybody, never proved anything to us throughout this season. And I really could see that happening. But on the flip side of this, all the money coming on Ohio State, everybody's expecting them to win this football game, and the line's not really moving. What, we've got a 0.5 point, Jimmy? Is that all it's moved?
Well,
it's come down. It started at 6, right?
Only 37% of the cash is on Ohio State.
Oh, on both places that you got your money?
I don't,
because when I was looking at one earlier, it had all the money on Ohio State, but that was what I'm not paying for what I was looking for. So
yeah, I don't really trust Action, but Action has the same deal. Action's even more ludicrous. You want to trust this site? It's telling you that it's so stupid. It's so stupid. I don't even want to say it out loud. 52% of the tickets and 100% of the cash.
Wow.
On Indiana.
Okay. Man, this is. I'm just gonna say it, and I hate to say it. I want to bet Ohio State. I do want to bet Ohio State. That's where I was getting with this. I want to bet Ohio State. What I might do is take Ohio State in the first half. This game doesn't really have as big a playoff implications, right? Obviously, whoever loses it, might drop a couple seeds, but God, all the other games matter so much more than this game does. No matter what happens here, both of these teams are going to be playing playoff football. Ohio State could literally win 50-0 or vice versa, and we're still seeing both of these teams in the playoffs. I like Ohio State. I might get there with them first half. I haven't bet this one yet. These two teams are tough. Like, for me personally, because I'm somebody who really likes to watch what I'm betting on, I don't know how good they are. I know that Ohio State should be the best team in college football, but they, just like with A&M stepping up in competition against Texas and getting slapped because they hadn't been playing anybody, in the upper echelon, I don't feel like either of these teams have been tested enough for me to trust them. So I'm interested to see where they go.
Let's hear from Nick. And Nick, also, if you don't mind, touch on the game being played at Lucas Oil Stadium and the environment. How helpful will that be for the Hoosiers, or, will the Buckeye fans travel?
Yeah, I think that's very important. It's almost a home game in that opinion. It's not that far for them to travel. You know what I'm saying? It's really right there. I mean, what is that? couple of hours drives for them, if not that much. So it should be favored to the Indiana side, but don't get it twisted. Ohio State fans will travel. It's the same thing with Georgia, Alabama. A lot of Georgia fans should be able to pack that stadium, but Tuscaloosa is literally hour and a half down the road, 2 hours, depending on how you drive it. But I mean, when you get into that, the most important thing about that is the fact that it's going to be inside a controlled environment. You know, you don't have to worry about elements outside or anything like that. So I look at it and I'm saying, looking at these two teams together, I'm looking at literally one team is the number one offense in the Big Ten. The other one is the number 3 offense in the Big Ten. One team is the number 1 defense in the Big Ten. The other one is the number 3 defense in the Big Ten. This is a very competitive game. This is a very evenly matched game. You look at Indiana. Indiana went on the road and beat Oregon on the road this year. And I think the thing about this, I think the biggest thing about Indiana this year that gives me a lot of hope for them in this game is the fact that they got better. I'm not gonna say it's better quarterback play, but they got a very competent quarterback in Fernando Mendoza. Probably one of the biggest pickups in the portal this offseason. A lot of teams were looking at this guy. A lot of teams saw him last year at Cal, do what he did at Cal. Indiana went and got him. Kurt Signetti, shout out to Kurt Signetti for doing that. I look at this and I say this. I think this is an evenly matched game. I think I'm definitely gonna take the under in this game because I think both defenses are gonna show out. I think Indiana's defense is allowing 10 or less points on the season, and I think Ohio State's defense is allowing 7 or less points scored on them in the season. But both offenses are very, very high powered. But I'm a defensive guy. I always think defense travels. So I always lean defense in these games. I'm definitely gonna take the under in this game, but first half, I'm definitely gonna take Indiana plus the points in the first half.
Indiana plus the points here as well. What before? I mean, I'll be line shopping when you answer this question, but you know, you talked about weather conditions not existing, of course, in Lucas Oil Stadium. You know, I call it a fast track. It's a fast track. A lot of these very impressive defensive performances by both the Buckeyes and Hoosiers have come outdoors in the wind and some cold temperatures, some difficult situations. Does that concern you at all that it's indoors on a fast track, such a, you know, an opportunity, 4 points, or you think that defense will rise?
I think defense. You gotta understand my bias towards defense. I like offenses. Don't get it twisted. If I was a coordinator, I probably would call offenses. But the thing is, I enjoy seeing good defensive play. I enjoy seeing it, and I think in the moment that's what helps a lot of teams win: running the football and great defense. And when you look at Indiana has 2 running backs in this game that are over 750 yards on the season. I think one of them is almost at 900. One is at 700 yards. I think Bo Jackson from Ohio State is the only back that's over 900 yards. And I think the next one behind him is like 450 or something like that. Of course, you have Jeremiah Smith in that game that's throwing that's just under 1,000 yards receiving as well. But when you look at a team that's able to run the football and play really good defense in this situation, and I look at it, I'm sitting here saying, I lean defense. I think defense is going to be the name of the game. It's going to be the name in this game. And like I said, I have a bias towards it, and that's the way I'm gonna lean on that one. But yeah, I definitely don't think it's going to be that much of a difference in my personal opinion.
Nick on the under 48 minus 110. Indiana first half plus 3 minus 110. Daby Cab, the Big Ten Championship. Final thoughts before we get into the ACC Championship.
This is one where make sure you guys tune in on Saturday because I will probably have a bet in this game. I'm just not there yet with it. I don't hate that under. I think both these defenses show up.
Let's move on to the ACC Championship here. Our final spot in college football. We've had great breakdowns from Daby Cab and Nick Frazier of the Water Cooler Talk Sports Show. And looking forward to have you guys back for bowl games here shortly. Duke Blue Devils 7-5 at the 17th ranked Virginia Cavaliers 10-2 Bank of America Stadium in Charlotte, North Carolina. We are outdoors here, but that is done nothing. It's cold. It's 44 Fahrenheit, but partly cloudy and 1 mile per hour wind. So there's no wind at all. Pretty nice conditions here. in Charlotte. Let's get this one all set up because we have another nice opportunity because these teams have played each other, and we can touch on that. But let's touch on the form here. Duke taking out North Carolina at North Carolina 32-25 and closing the year by putting up 49 in a 49-32 victory at home versus Wake Forest. The two wins came on the heels of the 34-17 loss at home to Virginia, which we will be talking about. It's interesting because Virginia did lose at home to Wake 16-9 before they beat up on Duke. Then they had the bye before they took out Virginia Tech 27-7. That 34-17 game was worse than it was. It was 31-3 going into the fourth quarter. Virginia put up 540 yards at Duke. Duke only put up 255 yards. It was another 4-15 on third down. Virginia had the ball for 36 minutes of that football game, went 12-19 from third down, and dominated the football game. What will change here? Let's get into the line history because after a 34-17 victory, on the road, this is only a 4. It opened up with Virginia minus 2.5, a very, very low number. When I see a minus 2.5 for a team that just won by 17, I want nothing to do with that football team. It's just like I feel like the books are just opening up their arms to anybody who wants the favorite. But the line has moved pretty smoothly towards the 4. I mean, you watched us celebrate when the Lions went to 3.5 for Thursday Night Football. I mean, getting past that 3 is a big deal, despite opening at such a low number. We have a total of 57.5. It opened up at 57.5. This was a 56 on Monday and came back on Tuesday to a 57.5. So we've had no movement at all here. And then let's get into the cash flow for our final spot on the board. We have 85% of the tickets and 95% of the cash on Virginia. We now have a 4.5. This is still extremely suspect to me. I don't care that it's gone to 4.5. But no, I'll listen to you guys, listen to the experts, and then have a foundation for decision making. 53% of tickets on the over, 95% of cash on that over. This is wild. Justin McKelvey's Duke +4 in his pocket. Take it away for us, Nick. ACC Championship, Duke, Virginia.
Yeah, I look at this game and I say, man, it is wild that you have a 5-loss team in the ACC Championship game. They can basically derail the whole college football playoff picture, where a whole conference potentially cannot get into the college football playoff. Looking at this game, I honestly don't know which way to go in this game, to be honest with you. I'm so torn on this because part of me looks at this and be like, could this be a dud of a game? And then part of me is looking at this probably could be the most exciting game of the weekend. You can see a lot of points scored in this game, which is what I'm leaning towards. Normally when I'm kind of sure about something, I can give you a better analysis, but I'm so confused on it. But the one thing that I am pretty much sure about in this game is I think points will be scored. I think it's going to be exciting that way. So my official pick for this game is I think I'm gonna take the over in this game, the over 57.5 with Duke and with Virginia. So that's how I feel. I can't get a real feel on this game, to be honest with you. I really can't. I just can't get a feel, but I do feel like there will be points scored in this game when looking at that.
We have an over 57.5 at minus 109. We have cappers here backing Duke. A ton of Duke love here in the chat. Kong on the other side, but Duke money line from Dizzy. We have Justin McKelvey on Duke +4. Take it away for us, Daby Cab. Blue Devils, Cavaliers, and Charlotte.
So I used the I alluded to Murphy's Law earlier. This is the prime example of it, where anything that can go wrong is going to go wrong. Duke Duke, if they win this football game,
Yep.
what the fuck do they do for the college football playoffs? Like, what do you put a 8-5 Duke team in the playoffs? No, but then how do you put in a Miami team over Duke, who's in the same conference when Duke won the conference, but Miami is higher ranked with less losses? What do you do? What is going to happen after this football game if Duke wins? I want to see Duke win just for that fact right there. I want to see what happens. I mean, it's going to throw everything into shambles. Jimmy, if Duke wins this football game, it's going to expose the college football playoff system right now. Like, that's exactly what's going to happen. There's too many teams in each conference. That's what the problem is, and that's why you have the ability for a 7-5 Duke team to win a conference when you've got a 2-loss Miami team who's ranked, in the top 15. Just a wild scenario here. All that being said, I'm with Nate or Nick here. I said Nate, sorry. Nate Frazier, Nick Frazier, 2 names. I'm with you here, Nick. I don't know what to do with this game, man. I really don't. The line is telling me, if I go off what I feel like the line's telling me take Duke and run with it. Just absolutely run with Duke. Yep. I mean, anybody who doesn't really gamble on a day-to-day basis and decides, hey, I want to gamble on championship weekend, you're betting on Virginia, right? Like, let's just be honest. That's exactly what you're going to do. You're going to see their record. You're going to see their rank. You're going to see what Duke's done this season. You're going to see what Virginia did to Duke last game. And you're going to say, oh, they're only having to lay 3.5 points. Sign me up. And for that reason, I wouldn't touch Virginia here. But I am not betting this football game. I will probably be on the Ohio State-Indiana game. I am on the Georgia-Alabama game. I don't think I'll touch Tech, and I'm not touching this game.
Were you the 34-17 loss for Duke at home? Mensa, 18 of 35 for 213 yards. I mean, you didn't really look any better.
And it was at home, week. Jimmy, and it's still a 3.5. Like, come on, man.
So what do you make of that 2.5? Like, what would be different here than what happened, 3 weeks ago?
My gut and everything tells me nothing, and that's why I want to sign up for Virginia. But doing this, as long as I've done this, I know that, obviously Vegas makes mistakes. I don't want to say they don't make mistakes, but like, they know what they're doing, right? And right now what they're doing is begging people to bet on Virginia.
Yeah.
Yeah, the 2.5 was clearly that, now for like Urban Pope, who moved on that Virginia minus 2.5, to see it now at 4 and a 4.5, you got to feel good about yourself. But I've seen the situation often when a line comes out on a favorite that doesn't make sense, that's way too low, and the line moves in the favorite's direction, and it's still, it still was a trap, even though, what happens is, not only do the people who think they're getting this enormous deal on Virginia, you also have the steam chasers, who see a line moving from 2.5 to 3 to 3.5, 4, so they get in too. This is, I love to hear that. Super true, my man. This is just, when a line comes out like this, I can only look to the team where it doesn't make sense. Now, look, this isn't the NBA. And, last night on Wednesday night, the Clippers line didn't make any sense at plus 3.5, so we hammered it. Closed at 1.5. This is a Clippers team that lost 6 or 7, just sent Chris Paul away. The line made no sense. It was confusing, made no sense. We hammered it. The Clippers were in the control all game long, won easily by 20 points. Here, if I was going to be under the same situation, in which I probably shouldn't, because all the money that will be bet on this game, it's different than Clippers game on a Wednesday night against the Atlanta Hawks. There's going to be so much money bet on this game, but it does feel like putting it at 2.5 was saying, we think Duke is going to menace. Let's put it at a line where we get all Virginia money.
And I know that they moved it towards Virginia, so it's like, oh, they're showing concern. But really, at the same time, like, if I'm not somebody who watches lines, right? Like, I'm talking about a public person who probably still hasn't bet this game, right, Jimmy? They're waiting until Friday or Saturday to bet it. They're still going to sign up Virginia at 3.5. I mean, like, that didn't scare anybody away, in my opinion.
It was 31-3 going into the fourth quarter.
Exactly.
At Duke.
At home for that. They were at home too. Like, man, yeah.
There are no gifts in this industry, man. There's none. Zero. No fairy tales in Shawshank, man. Nick is on the over 57.5 in the ACC Championship, Duke of Virginia. We're going to talk about these games again tomorrow, some of them. We'll see what Wine Time is attacking here. To review action in the Big 12 Championship, Nick's on the under 49.5 and BYU plus 13.5. In the SEC Championship, Daby Cab's on Nate Frazier over 60.5 rushing yards and Ryan Williams over 44.5 receiving yards. Nick is on Georgia money line minus 135. In the Big 10 Championship, Nick's on the under 48 in Indiana first half plus 3 minus 110. And then the ACC Championship, Nick is on the over 57.5. Bank of America Stadium in Charlotte, North Carolina. Saturday is going to be very, very exciting. A lot of answers will be delivered to these important questions. Nick, my man, thank you for making time for us. Tell us about what's going on on the Water Cooler Talk Sports Show this week.
Yeah, man. Water Cooler Talk Sports. We talk SEC football. We talk a little college football. Of course, we're Auburn fans, so we definitely gonna hit on some Auburn stuff. Auburn just hired one young Alex Golish, new head coach. Excited about this hire. Optimistic, but excited about this hire.
His hair matches the uniform, so y'all are looking good. Look good, play good. You know how it goes.
That's good. I like that. So we'll be doing some more of that. Of course, we're gonna be talking about this, going a little bit more in depth on the Georgia-Alabama SEC Championship game is going to happen on Saturday, of course. And then, of course, yeah, man, we'll be just getting ready to talk about the transfer portal that's coming up, because that's going to be a epic thing that's coming up at the beginning of the year in January. It's opening January 2nd. So we'll be preparing for that, and we'll be talking about some other things that's going on around the conference and looking at a lot of these other hires that happen as well. But yeah, man, please come over to Water Cooler Talk Sports, man. Hit the subscribe button. We are on the road to hitting 1,000 subscribers before the end of 2025. I don't know how much how many more we have left to go, but
40.
I think
We
40.
need
Okay.
40 more.
Get in there, guys. Let's go.
That's it. We need 40 more people.
I just popped a link there. Go hit that link. We're at 960 subscribers for the Water Cooler Talk Sports Show. Let's get that to 1,000 right now today on this show. Please support our guy Nick and support us at Pub by hitting that link and subscribing to Nick's channel. You are also helping us at Pub. So hit that link. And I also got Nick's X handle here in the chat, as well as the X handle for the Water Cooler Talk Sports Show here in the chat. Please support our friend who supports us. Nick, my man, thank you for your time, your energy, your insights, your angles. My man, it's been great working with you, and looking forward to hear your thoughts on all these bowl games coming up. Any last words for the Cappers supporting the show, my friend?
No, man, thank y'all so much, man, for allowing me to come over here and talk with y'all. Shout out to Cab. Cab came into the chat, saw it, liked it. He hit me in the DMs. It was like, man, I need you to come over here and talk. I was like, let's make it happen, man. Yeah. So shout out to Cab for coming over there and rocking with us, man. Shout out to Jimmy for allowing me to come over here as well. Shout out to Wine Time that be in the chat. Shout out to Wine Time, my guy Wine Time, man. But hey, man, thank y'all so much, man. I appreciate y'all so much, man. Can't wait to do it again down the road. Appreciate you, man.
Respect. There he is, Nick Frazier, Water Cooler Talk Sports Show. Daby Cab, we have a monstrous week ahead. Tell us a little bit about what's going on for the tailgate Saturday.
Man, championship weekend, so that's obvious. But what I'm excited for, not just that, but also college basketball. Finally, we're going to implement it into the tailgate, so you will get the championship games, and then you'll also get, because there's only 5 games, so we might as well add them. So I'm going to send in some college basketball graphics. So this weekend, on Saturday, we will go over the championship games, and then we will also bring you guys best bets in college basketball. I've already looked ahead. There are a lot of huge games this Saturday, so I cannot wait. Jimmy, I love doing this with you. You guys in the chat. I'm going to retouch on, let's get those 40 for Nick, man. A&M was playing Auburn, and I guess, my phone just knows what I like. So I saw this podcast come across my phone, and I click in on it. For somebody to keep my attention talking sports, you have to be really fucking good at it. And Nick did exactly that. And now we got him over here capping with us. Let's show some love. Let's show him that Pub Sports Radio appreciates, their people. And let's go get him those 1,000 subscribers, guys. Thank you, Jimmy. I love you guys. Let's get paid.
Our guy, Daby Cab, in the house here. It is time to move on to NBA. We just got 4 more subscribers for Water Cooler Talk Sports. Thank you, guys. Keep them coming. Help out our friend Nick Frazier here. Dizzy said, just hit subscribe for Nick. Thank you, Dizzy, my man. All right, it is time to get into NBA here. We have Brizzy joining us here shortly. He's rushing back to rock with us. If he's not back, then Jose will join us here. But let's get to work and set up these games. Give me 1 second here before we introduce the first game, just to get the injury report or the shoot around. And I do want to touch on something here. Please recognize why the Clippers were so easy yesterday. We're talking about the diciness and the shadiness of the NBA. We know that there's players that are getting busted for, taking bribes and handling. So we know we're going into our NBA capping knowing that there's some grimy shit going on. Embrace it. Open up your arms to it. So when you see something that makes no sense, bet it. The Clippers were by far the easiest bet on the board. Where did it close? It closed at +1.5. We moved on it at 3.5. The 3.5 didn't make any sense. You think the 1.5 made any sense? It was smash and grab from the opening tip. So just, if you guys can, it's been a bread and butter situation for me. And, we're sitting here right now, plus 10.57 units on just 77 bets with an ROI plus 13.73%. So keep that in mind here, that when it just doesn't make any sense, it must be bet. When the public is surely on the other side of a situation, it must be bet. And let's move forward. We got Brizzy setting up his camera backstage. So let's move forward and attack. We start here in the NBA at 7 p.m. Eastern. We have the Golden State Warriors 11-11, 4-8 on the road at the Philadelphia 76ers 11-9, 6-6 at home. Xfinity Mobile Arena in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Let's get this one all set up, line history and rest wise. As I said, Brizzy just setting up his camera. He'll be rocking with us here shortly. This is an interesting spot, a very fun spot. Anytime the Warriors play, it's a lot of fun. We have a ton of injury issues. Of course, Steph out. Quentin Post, questionable. Kuminga, questionable. Horford, questionable. Jimmy Buckets, questionable. Let's roll through these questionable spots here. Kuminga dealing with right ankle soreness. If you want to back the Warriors, you certainly don't want to be putting all your chips on Moses Moody, which may happen here depending on Jimmy Butler's status. So let's take a look at Jimmy Butler, questionable here as well. He left the game against the Thunder. Look, if it's buddy ball out there, there's going to be a lack of defense being played and a ton of threes going on, and we can expect the line to move accordingly. So no information from shoot around, nothing pushing us towards Butler or Kuminga playing. Let's talk about Jackson Davis and let's talk about Al Horford before we get into Joel Embiid, who's questionable on the other side of things. So Jackson Davis has missed 2 straight with right knee soreness. Look, if there's no Jackson Davis, there's no Quentin Post and no Al Horford, and we'll go over all of those guys as well. Then what's Draymond Green going to play? He's going to play 40 minutes and have to, be all the toughness underneath? A very, very difficult situation if that is the case. Let's take a look at Al Horford here. We have Al Horford being gone for 4 straight games with a back injury. I mean, could he be back? We'll ask Brizzy if he has more information on these injury issues. And then on the other side, of course, we know Paul George out, Oubre out. Paul George ruining multiple franchises. That's going to be his legacy. Can you believe the great Paul George? When you think of Paul George, you think, how many franchises did he ruin? Oh, that was nasty when he broke his leg. Crazy how things change. Now, Embiid has been upgraded to questionable. He was previously listed as doubtful. He has been upgraded to questionable. You think, and also this is the front end of a back-to-back. So you want to know exactly which spot Embiid is going to be playing in. Donut Silk says, went to the Cavs game last night, says the most pathetic basketball game I've ever attended, 13 of 52 from 3. Absolutely wild. So there is the injury issues there affecting both teams. We have the Wizards coming off the 121-102 victory at home over Washington. That was on the heels of the double overtime loss at home versus Atlanta. So we have the 76ers here, at home against the Warriors that have massive injury issues, and they have to leave as soon as this game is over to go play Milwaukee tomorrow at Milwaukee. So that is the state of affairs for the 76ers. We're going to go into line history. We're going to cash flow, and Brizzy ready to jump on, so we'll get Brizzy up here as well. Then for the Warriors, as the Sixers are closing up their 3-game homestand on the first half of a back-to-back, the Warriors are in a horrific spot here. Opening up this 3-game road trip, they played at home against Oklahoma City on Tuesday. They fly to Philly on Wednesday, and now they play Philly with all these injuries. This setup to this basketball game is why people are no longer enjoying. And now I am, but look, how much shit do we have to go through before we can even begin a cap? I mean, that's just horrific. Never know who's going to be in the lineup and who isn't. Let's get into the line history here. We have the Philadelphia 76ers -3 and -105. They opened up at 3.5 and moved to 4, and then went down to 2 this morning at 9:17. Then back up to 3. It also hit a 3.5. So the books are all over the place. So there's no real clear indication of who's going to be in or not in for the Warriors. We have a 223 with a total. This total opened up at 221.5. This got up to 225 at 7 this morning. Back down to 222 at 10 this morning. It's now at 223. We've moved 2 points to the over. And then when we get to the cash flow for this spot here, let's get to this here. Here we go. We have 56% of the tickets and 81% of the cash on the Golden State Warriors. Wow. We have 69% of the tickets, 69% cash on the under, and Circa has 52% of tickets and 80% of the cash on the Warriors. This whole morning had been built upon all this money coming in on the Sixers. That switched in the early afternoon here, and they moved it a half point towards the Golden State Warriors. Jesus, that was a cluster mess. Let's bring on our expert who will guide us to the cash, lead us to the bag. Please welcome from South Jersey, star of the Locker Room Talk podcast. We have a huge UFC event on Saturday that we're pumped up about, and he will be starring on that live stream as well. Please welcome our friend Billy Brisbane. Oh, looks like we getting some camera issues here for Brizzy. Let's try him again here. Brizzy, what's good, man? How are you? We're
doing good.
Man.
Just got back to the house not too long ago. This is a crazy one. There's even more injury news report to this injury news report. Paul George questionable front end of a back-to-back, and with the total going down from 229.5 down to 223.5, that makes me think Jimmy Butler's about to be out for this one. He's questionable as well.
Paul George is out.
Out. I'm not shocked. I thought Paul George was going to be out as well. I think we'll get Quentin Grimes back, though.
Yes, at this point, Quentin Grimes is good to go and ready to play. Where does that take you, Brizzy?
I mean, it's like the NBA is never cut and dry. Without Curry on the road, it's kind of hard to back them versus Philly tonight. The Warriors got the star player out.
Okay, Brizzy, we're losing you a little bit there. Maybe try a refresh here. Try a refresh here. Let's Brizzy will do a quick refresh and then we'll get him back in business here. The way I look at this here is it's very difficult to bet this game without knowing if Embiid's going to play. But and the only reason why I say that is because if he's announced out, will this drop down to at least you have the script and the information. When I look at, let's just go with Podziemski, Richard, and Mooney 1, 2, 3 against Maxey, Edgecombe, and Grimes. You have a huge advantage with the Sixers. Maybe huge is a little. I don't know. I don't even know if that's much. I mean, it's such a huge advantage. Sorry, Brizzy, take it away, my man.
Yeah, I mean, it's never cut and dry in the NBA without Curry on the road. I mean, who's really going to want to go up to the window and back the Warriors tonight? The Warriors are going to be super sharp. They got that star player out boost on Saturday's win over the Pelicans, and then Tuesday's game versus OKC, the final score is 124-112. But watching that game from the eye test, I thought they put in a good effort. It doesn't show them the final result, but they played hard in that game. Sixers front end of it back-to-back. It really feels like as long as Maxey's in the lineup and he's rolling, that's really how far Philadelphia is going to go this year. Market-wise, I think this market's only going to come down, to be honest with you, which is kind of making me a little bit shy away from backing the Sixers. Tuesday, I backed the Sixers minus 13.5 points, and that's arguably got to be the biggest win margin in a basketball game that we had in quite some time that I can remember of recent memory, since we haven't been as good as we used to be. I think this is a spot for the Sixers to win, but it's also Wednesday, and Wednesday's wishy-washy in the NBA, and it's like what you think. You should probably bet the opposite side. I like the Sixers. I would probably take it on the money line, but the money line keeps on coming down. That tells me I should be a little bit cautious about it. Player prop-wise, I think Jerry McCain's in store for a big night. His minutes should go up, and it's a front end of a back-to-back. I don't think he'll play tomorrow against the Bucks, and he's been a huge boost for our bench. He's been kind of our six-man. He's back in that six-man role for us. I like the Sixers, but I like it, don't love it type of thing. And I think there's better bets on such a short card. I think there could be a couple more better bets than the Sixers. If I had to grade it out, I'm not a grading out type of guy, but I would say this is a 3.5, 4-star play.
Yeah, I think I want the Sixers. I know that I want them.
It's about time in the market, though.
But, I mean, this is all just injury-related movement, honestly. I don't...
Yeah, but the market's low enough where you could bet the money line, if depending on what type of juice you want to eat. You might as well bet if you're going to bet the Sixers, rather bet the money line and asking them to, cover point spreads. The Sixer games are always a little bit fishy. I don't think it's that big of a difference, but, I mean, I'd rather bet NBA money line than bet a spread. And the line keeps on coming down enough. And it went from 2.5 up to 4 down to 2.5, which tells me that people don't give a fuck about laying a possession or not laying a possession. The sharp money's on the Warriors in this one, and I'm not seeing what the sharps are seeing.
Well, the big money's on the Warriors, no doubt about it. 81% of the cash at this point. Yeah, I think that we've set the base, the foundation. Now we need to know what goes on in the next injury report here. I think that's all we can do is just set it up. Now, we do have the stacks play of the day. Warriors Sixers over 223 at minus 112. So while we are kind of waffling here trying to get more information, Justin McKelvey moving on it over 223 minus 112 for our guy Stacks. Saturated on the over 222. Now, every time I hear that elephant, I just think of that elephant.
I would be nervous about the total. I don't. If you're going to play the total, I think you would just play Philadelphia. I don't think the Warriors are really going to push the total. Even if the Warriors did win this game, I think it would be because it'd be a super low scoring game. We kind of saw the same exact scenario with the Wizards game where the total kept on going down and that game went way under the total and everybody's player props then still went over. I would be a little bit concerned about the total. And I thought the weird thing when I was looking at the Sixers social media, I know you guys don't give a fuck about social media and media and stuff like that, but looking at their social media post right after a shoot around like 30 minutes ago, it was Justin Edwards, Tyrese Maxey, VJ Edgecombe, and Jared McCain. And that tells me everything I need to know. Like, those are the guys that we're probably rolling out here. Don't expect to see anybody else. I would, and I kind of want to know what's up with Andre Drummond. Andre Drummond was playing really good until he's like playing on one leg right now. His knee's fucked up, and we've been kind of just throwing Bona out there for a little bit more defensive presence, even though Drummond's in the lineup. He doesn't look 100% healthy.
You know, the more Buddy Hield is out there, the more threes and the less defense will be played. And it looks like
Buddy's not going to get that many amount of minutes. It's probably going to be a combination of like Moses Moody, Kuzminski, Will Richard from Florida last year. Like,
those guys are starting, but Buddy Hield's going to be right off the bench with all these.
He ain't going to play no 30 minutes. I'm not betting no Buddy Hield props, and I don't think he's going to play over 25, 30 minutes. I don't think it's that big of a. I don't think he's going to eat that much of a usage for me to even like put that in my handicap.
I do, and I am. I think that the more Buddy is on the floor, the higher the score is for both teams. But I get it. I mean, so we have a Buddy Hield playing 18 minutes a game. Obviously, you would take his over 18 minutes. Would you not?
To be honest with you, I don't. I like watching the Warriors game the other night. I don't really remember Buddy Hield being out there like that. He played 28 minutes.
He was out there for 28 minutes.
So since Steph Curry's been out, he's played 31, 16, 23, 15, 17, and 28 minutes. I see what you're saying. He's gone 4 for 15, 3 for 9, 0 for 4, 7 for 20.
Oh, I'm not a Buddy Hield fan.
No, I'm saying, yeah, he is jacking up the shots. I just don't remember them ever going in.
No, that's fair. That's absolutely fair. That's totally fair. All right, we've laid the foundation. Let's find out more. You know,
Sixers or pass is kind of like the sentiment for me.
It's the same with me. This is not an easy spot. I mean, yesterday the Warriors fly right across the continent. Now we just saw the Capitals do it with ease in the NHL, but
yeah, but the Sixers are that weird type of team. Like, as soon as they get fat and happy, they have a flat spot. But when they're playing with their back against the walls, you'll get the role players to stop with Maxey. Maxey's scoring 30. It's just what's everybody else going to do?
Let's move on to our next spot on the board, Brizzy. Boston Celtics at Washington Wizards. We just saw the Celtics win 123-117 at home over the Knicks. Jaylen Brown went for 42 points in that one, 16 to 24 from the field. There's no Jaylen Brown here this evening. And that does make it tricky. Let's go over the starting lineup. Pritchard, White, Hauser, Walsh, Queta. For the Wizards, at least there's no questionable garbage hanging over this game. We know Sarr, Kispert, Johnson, Koulibaly, and Cooper are all out. So McCollum, George, Champagny, Middleton, and Marvin Bagley is your 1 to 5. So at least we have a set kind of situation here for this one. Now the Celtics are playing good ball, and they've been making us money, and they've making Nasty Nate money every second quarter over and over and over again. This is a team playing good ball, but take Jaylen Brown.
We're buying them high.
Oh, yeah. Well, now with Jaylen Brown out, it does change that. But they have won 7 of their last 9. Going up against the Washington Wizards in Washington, man, we've seen times where they're worth betting. They have won 2 of their last 4, and, you know, that first leg of the back-to-back, McCollum goes for 28. They win 129 to 126 at home over the Bucks. They head to Philly and lose by 19. So this is their third game in 4 nights. It is a tricky situation. This is just God. It's just every NBA game you need to, man. But we're winning in NBA. Let's just do the work and lay the foundation. This total opened up at 234, got up to 235. This was yesterday at 3:50 p.m. The announcement that Jaylen Brown would not be in the lineup 10:56 p.m. It moves 5.5 points. 5.5 points. It gets all the way down to 227 before the buyback comes in. Notice it was the 7 points off. Now it's injury related, but 7 points off the opening line before the buyback. Now we have a 230.5. From a point spread standpoint, Celtics are -10 at -105. They opened up at -10.5. The Jaylen Brown news moved it to 8.5, and now we're back at 10. So the Celtics being backed here, which is absolutely wild. When we get to the cash flow, 68% of tickets, 89% of cash on the Boston Celtics, 74% of tickets, 74% of cash on the under. Billy Brisbane, Celtics, Wizards, Capital One Arena, Washington, D.C. Take it away.
Yeah, it's a hard game to gauge. Like, you're kind of buying Boston high without Jaylen Brown in the lineup. They're off a Knicks win, front end of a back-to-back with the Lakers coming in to town to TD Garden tomorrow night. It just feels like a straight-up flat spot. Like, I get it. The guys out there are going to play more minutes than what they usually play. You're going to see Peyton Pritchard be kind of like the star player out there. But it still feels like a flat spot. Washington has had more encouraging results, but the only thing that's making me hesitant about backing them at the window is too many injuries in their rotation. I was talking about this on Tuesday. They had too many people out of their lineup. As soon as they start looking half decent, now Kispert's out, now this guy's out. And it's just like, I don't know. Tuesday's game was probably the highest point spread I can remember taking in my life for NBA of recent memory. And I kind of don't want to, just because I cashed a 13.5 doesn't feel like, I feel like I'm being greedy betting the -10.5 here. The difference with this Washington team compared to other Washington teams of years past, while they're still ass, they could score with teams. And what happens if Boston goes out here and they want to slow the pace and ends up being a track beat, and this game ends up going way more high scoring than what they would have probably previously had thought? I think Washington could, I hate to say this, Washington could probably backdoor come, maybe even win this game outright. Like, if you watch the Wizards play, like, I was watching that Sixers game, and it was like I was watching the game and it felt close, but then I was looking at the scoreboard and they're up by like 15, 16 points the whole entire time. But the game felt close. It was weird. I think this kind of leads you down to just the prop angles. Neemias Queta should have a big game in this one, 20.5 points and rebounds. He had 15 and 12 versus Washington in their first meeting. Washington allows fourth most points in the paint, second most rebounds. But summary of this cap is I think the Celtics are going to walk in here flat, underestimating the Wizards, and the Wizards have not been as ass as the name goes across their jersey. They've been able to score points, and if they score enough points in this game, they could probably backdoor cover. Like, I'm not looking to smack the Celtics for anything today. Like, this is not a smash and grab spot with the star player out type of theory. This is a flat spot. Lakers coming into town tomorrow night. That'll probably be back to Celtics.
Yeah, I get the breakdown for sure. I find it very interesting that Circa's moved this from -9 to -10. That's the only move that they've made on it. And I do think the fact that Jaylen Brown is out does mean that we're going to get some legitimacy and accountability from the Celtics. It's tricky with the Lakers on deck tomorrow. If Jaylen Brown was in this lineup, I would be on Washington. So I'm not going to be able to.
It's a weird spot. I mean, like, the Knicks and the Lakers have to be the Celtics' two biggest rivals, and then you sandwich the worst team in the league in between those games. It's just like,
Joseph Gomez says the line moved toward the Wizards on DraftKings.
I saw this line open up at 7.5 on the opener, and then it went up to 9.5, then up to 10, then back down to 9. And then it's back up to 10.5 after the public has bet the Celtics, I would imagine.
Yeah, it's not quite exactly that, Jose. Now you could say it's moved towards the Wizards in the last 3 hours, but this line opened up on DraftKings at 8:57 p.m. yesterday at 8.5. It moved to 7.5, got up to 10.5 this morning, and it's moved to 9.5. So overall, from the beginning of the line, it's moved a point. at DraftKings towards the Celtics.
Dizzy Donut, don't get it confused. I'm not betting the Wizards in this spot. I'm just cautious about the Celtics in this spot. This is not the free parlay leg, put it in whatever you like for the day. Don't worry about it. Look at your account at the end of the night. You won't be mad as fuck when the Celtics come back and, they end up slipping up. I'm telling you, the Wizards team has been so ass that they're starting to backdoor cover spreads. If you look at the Wizards, they're covering spreads left and right. It's only when they come off of an outright win is when they get smoked. If you look at the Wizards' results this year, it's when they come off an outright win when they're getting smoked by 20-plus points. But on the games that they're even rest advantage-wise, or have an advantage rest-wise, they've been producing, man. I mean, they've won outright in 2 games. They're a 10.5 and 11.5 point underdogs. It's something that we have to add into the cap now of if they're going to be priced as double-digit underdogs, you got to be able to kind of sort through the woods and kind of see if I think they're live in this game. The Celtics don't give a fuck about the Wizards, and that might be enough to get past the Wizards because the players are going to go out hard. Peyton Pritchard scoring 25 tonight, 25 and 8.
If Jaylen Brown was in the lineup, I'd be on the Wizards. I do think that when your superstar is out, that you do get more accountability. I hear what you're saying. I think we're kind of.
You know how hard Jordan Walsh is going to be going tonight in the Celtics lineup? He's going to be flying out there.
Let's roll into our next spot on the board here. We have the Utah Jazz at Brooklyn Nets. Speaking of shitty teams covering and winning by margin, the Brooklyn Nets on a 2-game winning streak took out Charlotte at home on Monday, 116-103. They're on the second half of a back-to-back now after beating Chicago 113-103 last night. MPJ, 68 points over his last 2 basketball games. So you have Brooklyn on the second half of a back-to-back, and you have the Jazz on the first half of a back-to-back. They play at MSG tomorrow night. They're starting their road trip here. They just had the 2 games at home versus Houston, losing the first one and winning the second one 133-125, and they head out on this big Eastern run. So it's interesting situation here. We have Nurkic questionable. It's the only thing to figure out here for the Jazz. Which game will he take off? Will it be tonight against Brooklyn or tomorrow night against the Knicks? Then we have Brooklyn with MPJ out after the incredible work last night. Cam Thomas, of course, out. Highsmith out. Terrence Mann, though, is probable. So you have Terrence Mann in the lineup. This is pretty ugly lineup here for both teams. But Mann going to be back after missing 2 games. For the Jazz, you have George, Mikhailuk, Bailey, Markkanen, and possibly Nurkic. For Brooklyn, Demon, Mann, Williams, Clowney, and Claxton. God, the hoops we have to jump through to cap these games appropriately is insane. Nothing.
It's like they manually put speed bumps in front of these handicaps to make people not want to bet the NBA.
Yeah, to make not want to watch it either. But I still love betting it and watching it and capping it. So but this is not a fun card already. This has been painstaking going through it. We have the Jazz opening up -2.5. In 10 minutes, they were -4. That went down to 3 hours later. By midnight, we got to 4. By 6 in the morning, we had a 4.5. And now we have a 5. So we have a 2.5 point move. A lot of it probably predicated on MPJ being out, but a pretty legit move towards the Jazz, who are beginning their their road trip here, of course, with the Knicks on deck tomorrow. This total is a 230.5. It opened up at 232, messed around between 231.5 and 232.5, and then it dropped to 230.5 an hour and a half ago. We get to the cash flow for this spot. Got to think that the betting pools have dropped considerably in the NBA with all this nonsense roster-wise and players missing and sitting. We have 66% of the tickets and 77% of cash on the Utah Jazz. FanDuel and DraftKings have both moved this to 5.5. So is BetMGM. 83% of tickets on the under and 88% of cash on the under, and you see it dropping. Take it away for us here, Brizzy. Any interest in Jazz Nets?
Yeah, it's actually my favorite game of the day. With the breakdown, keep this in mind. We are going everything opposite of the breakdown, if that makes sense. The numbers won't show it, but the eye test shows that we're seeing signs of life from this Brooklyn Nets team. I mean, they won back-to-back games, 1-9 over under in their last 10 games. So nine unders in their last 10 games. The Jazz have been the more proven team, but I definitely don't think the Jazz should be laying points against anybody. This will be the 21st time that they've been favorites in the last 2 seasons. 1-7 straight up on the road. So their home road splits are pretty drastic of where they play a lot better at home, which makes sense because of the altitude, and they play worse on the road. Brooklyn, if they can continue their current form, it might be enough to get past the Jazz, but I think the Jazz are the best bet of the card. Nobody's trying to walk up to the window and bet the Jazz at -5.5. They're in the script. Jazz are smash spot today. I really think so. I don't want to ever lay points with the Jazz, nor do I even want to bet 2 of what I think are the bottom 5 teams in the NBA. But the Jazz are going to smash in this spot, and I'm going to have money on them.
Have you moved on them, or are you waiting for something? Is there a line that you're looking to get? What's the story?
Well, the outside factors of I had to be places earlier today. Just walked back inside the house, but I will be on the Utah Jazz today.
All right, the Jazz for Billy Brisbane.
Which is weird because it's the exact opposite of what my handicap is. My handicap would lead me towards the Brooklyn Nets plus the points and the team total over, but I think the Jazz smash them in this spot.
With the Knicks on deck, these are tricky spots. I mean, obviously the market is screaming that 2.5 to 5.5 is a monster move here.
This is the tank theory, Jim. But the team, that's trying to get inside this tank, man. More losses for them. They ain't get a lot of out of conference matchups where they're going to have a team that's going to be in the same bottom tier of picks as them. So I'm going with the Jazz here. I think the Jazz are going to show up. I think the Jazz end up balling out in this one. I get it's the front end of a back-to-back to play the Knicks tomorrow, but do what you want with the information. Shit, if you think the handicap's completely off, take the Nets plus the points. But we're on the Jazz tonight. I hate to bet these type of games too.
It's a very tricky spot here, all these games, and we'll move up north to Scotiabank Arena, Toronto, Ontario for our next spot. I can't tell you how many fans are brokenhearted that Luka is not playing tonight, out for personal reasons. It was all over everything that Luka was. I mean, kids crying. Lakers 15-5, 8-2 on the road. Raptors 15-7, 8-2 at home. Scotiabank Arena here. Sucks for our fans up here that they don't get a chance to see Luka. Marcus Smart out as well. So the starting 5 for the Lakers: Vincent, Reeves, Rui, LeBron, and DeAndre Ayton. For the Raptors, Pirtle, RJ Barrett, Agbaji out. So Mamuklashvili, it will be starting at the 5. Barnes at the 4. BI at the 3. And Jacoby Walter at the 2. The most exciting, obviously you don't want RJ Barrett was playing the best basketball I've ever seen him play, which honestly isn't saying that much, but
he was fucking great though. He was really on some shit this year.
But look, I want to see Jacoby Walter at the 2.
I'm a Jacoby Walter guy.
In 2 years from now, Jacoby Walter will be our starting 2.
Oh, 100%. He's just got drafted at the age of 18 years old and probably didn't even know anything.
We're very, very excited about all he does. And then we have IQ at the 1. Let's take a look at the situation and the line history here for this one. Now, look, no Luka, but LeBron coming to Toronto. He loves Toronto. He comes up every year for Carabana. So, he loves the city, and we love hosting him. So there's some excitement there for sure for our fans, even though Luka's not going to be there. The Lakers are starting out this road trip coming off that pretty ugly loss against the Suns. It was interesting watching JJ Redick's press conference after that game, just talking about that this Suns team is for real. The loss snapped that 7-game winning streak, and Luka just going off on all those games. And this is just a 3-game road trip. So it's 3 games in 4 nights. They have the Raptors tonight, the Celtics on Friday, and then the Sixers on Sunday. Then they fly home for just 1 game, and then they go back on the road. It's a Western trip, Utah, LA, and Phoenix. The Toronto Raptors, dealing with some hiccups here. It's been a great season, obviously, but they lose at Charlotte and at New York. The Charlotte was an overtime loss. The New York loss was ugly, losing by margin. And then a bounce back of sorts when they beat Portland at home on Tuesday night. This is game 2 of a 5-game homestand. So it's a really nice spot for the Raptors here. Now, nice spot, yes. It is also the first half of back-to-back for them as well. They host Charlotte tomorrow night, and then they have the Celtics on Sunday. So that's their situation. Let's get into the line history and hand this over to our guy, Brizzy. We have a total of 228.5. This is dropped from 234.5. Obviously, the Luka news, a big part of it. So
yeah, I don't like how the total's dropping.
We've dropped 6 points from that opening line now. From a point spread standpoint here, we have Toronto minus 2.5. Opened at +3, got to +3.5. The news that Luka was going to be out came at 11:06 p.m. last night, and the line moved 4.5 points from +3 to -1.5 for the Raptors, and now they are -2.5. When we get to the cash flow here, we have 52% of the tickets, 63% of the cash on the Raptors, 59% of tickets on the under, and 90% of cash on that under. We have my guy Robert Franklin on Braun 3 or more threes at +139. He's on BI over 3.5 assists. Drewski is on BI 20 or more, and Barnes 8 or more boards, 8 and 15 or more points. Saturated took the Raptors team total over 115.5. And Justin saying LeBron in Toronto is the thing. It is. We host him. He's got spots he loves coming. He comes up for every summer. We know all the spots that he goes to, and we look after him. Take it away for us, Brizzy. Lakers, Raptors.
Yeah, crazy enough, when I was doing the research for this game, the first thing that stood out to me in this game is Toronto hasn't beaten the Lakers since December of 2022. That's a long-ass fucking time, man. No Luka in the lineup for the Lakers tonight, front end of a back-to-back. They got Boston on deck. I mean, I feel like Toronto finally got their offense together a little bit without RJ Barrett in the last one, 8-2 straight up at home. It seems like it's too good of a spot for Toronto, honestly. I don't know why. I just got this gut feeling that it's just not going to go the way that I think it's going to go. I like the team total over for the Raptors. I think they could score some points in this spot, but all the handicaps kind of lead me towards Scotty Barnes. Fuck the total, fuck the set. I actually think it's Scotty Barnes' night. And Scotty's going over his PRA prop 4 out of 5 games without RJ Barrett in the lineup, averaging 37 plus PRA. And then you put on top of that, you take out Jakob Poto out the lineup. He's going to have to crash the glass tonight. I would imagine his double-double prop is probably getting steamed. The Lakers rank in the bottom half of the NBA when it comes to points, rebounds, and assists allowed to power forwards. And then on top of that, LA sits 25th in opponent 2-point field goal percentage. So I think Scotty Barnes is going to smash in this spot. I feel a little bit more convicted about Scotty Barnes than anything else. You'll probably see a lot of prop money go on Austin Reeves in this game. He's had some crazy performances without Luka in the lineup. But, I mean, if you just look at the same type of players that have played against the Lakers in the last couple of weeks, Royce O'Neal's prop line was 18.5. He had 24. Sadiq Bey's prop line was 26.5. He had 36. PJ Washington, 23. He had 32.5 PRA. Cooper Flagg's line was 24.5. He had 31 PRA. Kawhi Leonard, 27.5. He had 27, so he missed by the hook. Larry Markkinen had 38 PRA. His line was 33.5. Trey Murphy, 30.5. He had 42 PRA. Mikal Bridges, 33.5 PRA line. He had 47. So what I'm getting at towards is everybody smashing their PRA lines against the Lakers since November the 4th.
It sucks that Pirtle's not going to be there. We just don't have size without him. So, I mean, nobody's that afraid of Ayton and Jackson Hayes, but say what you want about them. I mean, they're 7-footers, and they're going to cause a problem. They also have Maxi Kleber to come in, 6'10", 240. It's a real problem. I mean,
don't you have that bad gut feeling that if you take Toronto, you're gonna look at the final score and be like, "Damn, that didn't go the way I thought it was gonna go."
the problem is we got Sandro and Murray Boyles and Mogbo. That's it. We have no. That's why you saw the winning streak coincide with Pirtle coming back. So Mogbo at 6'9". Of course, Sandro has some height. Sandro 6'9". I can't when we have no. I mean, what we're going to be asking Scotty Barnes to do everything out there.
Everything times 10. It feels like it's pretty wild. Like when you think about it, it's just like, damn, they're asking for a lot from, I feel like, the people that are going to be out there tonight. But they might want to deliver. I mean, you haven't beat a team since 2022. If you beat the Lakers, that's just going to be on every news media possible. And it's kind of, I don't know. Like, it feels like if the Raptors are going to win this game, I might as well take them to score points.
How do the Lakers not take advantage of the Raptors having nobody on the floor taller than 6'9"? I mean, you're going to have 7-footers out there catching lobs all game long.
I'm kind of right there with you, man. As much as I think Toronto looks good on paper, I just feel like when I watch that game, it's going to go way different than what it is supposed to on paper. Nobody wants to back the Lakers front end of back-to-back. They play Boston on national television tomorrow night. What happens if the Lakers come out here and they just put boots to ass and this ends up being like 127 to 122? You're going to be mad as fuck you didn't have an over bet and you kind of got scared off.
This is funny here. I thought for sure at the end of this cap I'd be sitting here, on the Raptors, but I've sort of flipped. Now
that's how my handicap was. I started off on the Raptors. By the time I got done writing the shit, I was like, you know what? Just leave it on the paper.
We had Pirtle last game. So, at that point, Klingon is taken out of the game. Klingon only played 21 minutes against us because what's he going to do against Pirtle? I mean,
Portland backdoor covered that spread anyway. Toronto won, but they didn't cover.
Oh, I know they didn't. Yeah, they were outscored by 12 in the fourth. But that whole thing was about Thiago Splitter changing the game plan because he knew that Klingon can't, Pirtle's just going to shut him down.
Yeah.
But now that's not the. You know what? I'm.
It's crazy, right? The more you start getting into the layers of it, you're like, go bet that Toronto shit. I'm gonna bet the Lakers 30 minutes before the shit starts. Let that shit go 3.5. That's kind of I don't know, man. I just think Toronto scores points, and I want to be on Scotty Barnes. I want to be on Scotty Barnes, not Toronto, if that makes sense.
Wow, I am shocked at this. This is going to be extremely difficult for Toronto. I didn't quite.
It's going to be probably the most public bet of the day. Is going to be Toronto minus 1.5. I mean, we already see it go from 1.5 up to 2.5. I think a lot of money is going to come in on Toronto throughout the day.
Yeah. No, I'm with you, and it's going to keep coming in, and I'm going to bet the Lakers. Wow, God, did not expect that would be the end of that breakdown. But look, I'm on the board now. I'm not going to bet this after the show. I think Brizzy's right. We want to keep seeing it move towards the Raptors here. All right, let's move on to our final spot on the board here. And this is the spreadsheet play of the day. It's on the New Orleans Pelicanos. 3-19, 2-10 at home in the midst of a 4-game losing streak. Now, that was a wild 149-142 game that we just saw them play with the Timberwolves, and now they play them again. here in New Orleans. 149, 142. Let's just take a closer look at what the hell happened there. New Orleans
Overtime, they're down by like 10 points, and Anthony Edwards said, okay, it's time to play basketball now in the fourth quarter. That's basically what happened. I don't think the back-to-back playing the same team both nights is going to help the Pelicans at all. I think that's even worse. Minnesota's not going to underestimate them this time around. They're not going to be down by 14 points.
Well, you could just say the Pelicans aren't going to hit 57% from three. I mean,
that as well.
That's the outlier performance in that game. And it looked, I mean, that's not going to make me run over. And I mean, they only shot 12-3. They were 12 of 21. 12 of 21. You know what Minnesota was? 20 for 51. That goes back to Donut Silks going to the Cavaliers game and wanting his money back. It's just not the kind of basketball that, you know, we were raised watching and loving, and makes you not want to put on European EuroLeague, because then you're like, oh, this is it. I remember. Minnesota minus 12 here at minus 110. Opened up at 11.5, dropped to 11, up to 11.5, and now at 12. So we have a half-point move towards these Timberwolves. Jesus, I mean, we're 5 games into this cap, Brizzy. It's like this. There's so many moving parts with the injuries and the.
It's like surgery, man. it's like you got to surgically cap the NBA card to pull out profit from it. But if you do the surgery correct, you can definitely reap the benefits. And that's been really the thing that I don't think people understand. Just don't shy away from something just because it's a little bit harder than usual.
Justin McKelvey on Edwards, 30-plus points and plus 105. Says Edwards needs 30 points to break the Timberwolves record of 7 straight games of 30. Robert Franklin, Bala on a budget is on Edwards over 29.5. Drewski says all unders on the Pelicanos. 56% of tickets, 77% of cash on the Pelicans. 90% of tickets on the under, and 87% of cash on the under. My fear here is that the Timberwolves don't care. I know that was a tough game, that they obviously overlooked the Pelicans, but do you think they care now? Why would they care about the Pelicans? Like that is the concern here. When we get to the situation here, Minnesota healthy and ready to go, and of course Zion, Poole, Murray, Missy, and Jones out. Fears, McGowan's, Murphy, Bay, and Derek Queen is your 1-5 for the Pelicans. This is just ugly shit, man. What an ugly card. But, you know, if we pull one winner out of here, then it's all worth it. Brizzy, take it away. Our final game on today's show, the Minnesota Timberwolves, New Orleans Pelicans, Smoothie King Center in New Orleans, Louisiana.
Yeah, looking for a specific piece of paper. This is it. I'm just going to read off what I wrote for the game the first time, and this is the reason why I like Minnesota. Laying points with Minnesota hasn't been profitable. They're 4-7 ATS last 11 games of laying 5 points or more, 8-12 ATS for the season. Minnesota plays with their food. New Orleans has lost 12 of their last 13 games, but have covered 6 out of the last 8 spreads, 10-9-2 ATS this season. I think Minnesota smashes it in this spot. This is it's like one of those ones where like nobody wants to lay points at Minnesota because they never cover big point spreads. So they copy and paste the same exact point spread to get people to bet the underdog. But what happens if Minnesota comes out here and they're not down by 14 points throughout the first half and they have to come back from whatever deficit? I think Minnesota is going to come out here from start to finish and put ass to whooping to the Pelicans in this one. With how the first game went, it was so close. How do you not tell the guys, all right, let's not come in here and lollygag throughout the first half and have to have Anthony Edwards do the superstar 44-point performance and bring us into overtime. I think this is the type of game that if they're locked in, you're not seeing the starters at the end of the fourth quarter in this one. So I'm a little bit trepidatious about playing Anthony Edwards props. I was all about it on Tuesday because I thought the Pelicans would backdoor cover the spread. And anytime an underdog is going to backdoor cover a spread, the star players are going to play a little bit more. I think the Pelicans get blown out in this game. I think this goes back to Pelicans, like they've been ATS machines. I just don't see the ATS cover here. You're playing the same exact team twice, back-to-back games. You could play it as you might not care about playing one of the worst teams in the league, but then there's also the other side of the scenario of the things that they were doing in the first game that shocked you they're not going to be surprises anymore. You know Trey Murphy's going to shoot the ball 20 times. You know Sadiq Bey is going to do blah, blah, blah. And you know JP Fears can put up 20. Now they've seen it. It's like you're not capping you're capping 8 quarters. This is an 8-quarter basketball game. And I think throughout 8 quarters, I think Minnesota smashes them.
Tops, that's funny. This card feels like the bookies made it. Is the fact that the Timberwolves are off to LA on a plane after this game make you feel any discomfort backing the Timberwolves? You know, they're going to set some shit up in LA for Friday night.
To be honest with you, I like the Sixers and I like the Jazz today. I don't think I'm betting this game. I'm going to be real with you. I just got the time. I haven't beat Minnesota or passed Marie. I'm not going to call you a dumbass for betting the Pelicans, but just be a little bit trepidatious, man. I mean, just because they backdoor covered 2 days ago, you don't think the books know that too? Like who's throwing Minnesota in a parlay at -900 or -950? Like, nobody. So it's like, this just seems like a market casualty type of game where the books would actually probably win money with the favorite winning by a margin. And none of the player props end up cashing because of that.
My man, Occupancy in the house, man. Nice to see you. My man, nice to see you. Everybody, Bobano, many cappers on the Rangers in that spot, Occupancy. I'm on the Senators. The fact that they came back to Canada a few days ago, I don't think I'm getting crushed right now. I need you back, Occupancy, because we've capped together and succeeded in NHL for a long time, and I'm taking a bath right now. Let me ask you one final question. We're done with Timberwolves Pelicans, though. I don't want to move on it. So we can pull that game. Thank you, Jose. Is there a chance that the Raptors can play a small ball lineup and completely neutralize the 7-footers?
100%. I fear every time I watch a Lakers or a Suns game, mainly because those two teams played just last week. Those are like them and the Warriors too. They will go small. They do not care. They will, and I like the Raptors team total over because I don't know if they're going to win the game outright. But regardless, I think the game is going to be more of what the opening total was rather than what the total moved to. This goes back to what you were talking about. I mean, like 8-point move on a total. I mean, Vegas is just on some shit, man. I don't know. I feels like Raptors team total over, Lakers win, if that makes sense, of like 120, 125, 117 final score is kind of how I'm seeing that one.
If the Raptors go small ball, can you just put LeBronto at the 5 and Rui at the 4?
That's what they did in the playoffs last year. Remember when they didn't have a center in the playoffs last year and LeBron played center and they just ran a bunch of guards out there? I would not be shocked to see. I really could see this game seeing Scotty Barnes playing the 5 for the Raptors and LeBron playing the 5 for the Lakers, and like centers just not matter. That's why I don't want to take any like DeAndre Ayton props.
Yeah, so you're saying that the Raptors go small, the Lakers have JJ's got a plan for that and can handle that, and it's not gonna,
Yeah, I think it's just like I'm just confused of what am I gonna get from the front court of Toronto, because like Sandro Mavgiselli is in the lineup as a starter, but we all know he's not playing no more than 25 minutes. That's a stretch, saying 25. Like, so he's not out there for 25. They're probably going to play Chloe Kitts' boyfriend. It's fucked up that I know the kid that they drafted from South Carolina that dates Chloe Kitts. Murray Boyles. Crazy. His girlfriend's more popular than him, and he's in the NBA as a lottery pick. He'll probably play a lot of minutes tonight. That's going to change.
Yeah.
Chloe, have you seen Chloe Kitts?
I've never heard of her in my life. I don't even know who you're
Chloe
talking about.
Kitts is one of the best college basketball players in the country. Plays for South Carolina. Dawn Staley just got hurt this past season, so she probably won't be as clouded this year. But Chloe Kitts is one of the best players in the country. or she's 10 times more popular. You on draft night, they were showing Chloe Kitts, not the boyfriend.
Okay, I'll keep an eye out for it, man. I don't care about that shit, but I'll keep an eye out for it. Brizzy,
Nothing but Instagram follow, Jim. Double tap. It's for informational purposes. It's for informational purposes.
I don't know anything about Instagram. I've never been on my whole life, not one for 1 second. Brizzy, excellent work here. This was a very tricky card. Can you please tag me when you put out your action so I can then retweet it? Sounds like focusing on the Jazz and the Sixers at this point?
Yeah, quick preview. Jazz minus the points. Sixers money line is probably going to be a little bit juice. I hope that juice comes down. Player prop wise, Jared McCain, 17.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Namus Queta, over 20.5 points and rebounds or double-double. Doesn't matter. That's in the Boston Celtics Wizards game. Raptors game, Scotty Barnes is probably the best player prop of the card today. And then I'm off player props in Jazz, Nets, and Minnesota, New Orleans. I like the Anthony Edwards stuff. Anthony Edwards could score 30 points in 2 quarters in this basketball game. I wouldn't be shocked. I'm not saying that, but I think Minnesota blows out the Pelicans, and I just don't. It's crazy that you think that the biggest favorite of the card is going to blow out another team, and you don't have any money on it. It just feels weird to stomach that.
And you were right about those big favorites, though. It was nice watching Wine Time cash with the Rockets minus 15.5 with ease yesterday. Excellent work, Brizzy, my man. I'm going to pop Brizzy's X handle here in the chat. Hit that link. Support our guy, Billy Brisbane. Brizzy, tell us a little bit about the huge UFC card on Saturday. Locker Room Talk podcast out right now. Tell us a little bit about the card.
Yeah, pay-per-view weekend, last pay-per-view of the year. And the last time the UFC will be on ESPN, on the bigger and better things, Paramount Plus, we up. So get in this weekend. It's going to be a nice, good pay-per-view. They're going to leave us out with a good swan song on ESPN here. But to be honest with you, I'd be lying to you if I'm not counting down the days until Paddy Pimblett's going to get this belt against Justin Gaethje. It's going to be my biggest bet of combat sports since probably the Jake Paul, John Jones two-leg. Like, Patty's gonna whoop Gaethje's ass.
Oh, that's dope, man. Our guy Billy Brisbane in the house. That was a great job. That was a very tricky card in NBA, man. So many moving parts. Let's bring back our guy Jose Bouquet SN1P5 and put a bow on the proceedings. Jose, was that the most messed up NBA card we ever capped? Good God.
That's the NBA for you.
Yuck. My plan will be to bet the Lakers. I'm going to wait. God damn, Pirtle is so important to this basketball team. Now, look, Scotty Barnes is the basketball team, but Pirtle is.
Did you think he would be saying that 10 years ago? When he was on the Raptors 10 years ago?
Yeah, we did. He was ours. Yeah. I always liked him. I always liked Pirtle. I like the traditional centers. I like old school basketball. I don't like. You see the Timberwolves put up 51 threes. 51 threes. I mean, come on.
It's my kind of basketball with the Celtics.
Yes, Jose, new camera Bouquet. There we go.
My phone's over there, so the light's not in front of my face anymore. We're doing it a little bit ghetto, but
Okay. Oh, that's what you're using to light.
To let everyone in. Oh God, there it goes. No. Oh God, I let everyone inside of the kimono. But yeah, a little ghetto, but we made it work out.
Let's review all action here. Stacks play today. Number 1, Warriors. Sixers over 223. Stacks play today. Number 2, Jameer Gibbs over 118.5 rush and receiving. MMA Mad Hatter, Mad Cheddar play today. Leafs plus 175. Penguins plus 175. Pig Milk play of the day. Cal State, Bakersfield money line plus 165 for sweet Pig Milk. Oh, Justin always with important advice for you. He really cares about you.
Well, Justin, say it to my face at Palooza 5. How about that, Justin? Say it to my fucking face. Palooza 5 your opportunity to say it into my fucking face. And he will. He will indeed. I want to sit right next to Justin during the poker tournament.
That's a nice way. That's a nice way to put a bow on the proceedings here. We have Dizzy
And Justin,
Donut.
you better be in the fucking poker tournament, Justin. I'm coming for you. I'm gonna sit right next to Justin.
Oh, it's funny, man. That's funny.
Cause I'm not going anywhere, Justin. You're coming to me.
We have Dizzy on Scotty Scheffler round one, parlayed with Cowboys plus 10.5 minus 154. Cowboys money line, Cowboys Lions alt total over 60.5 plus 240. And Pickens anytime touchdown. Johnny Blaze flank stake play today's Golden State Warriors money line. He's on the Flames money line and Green Bay money line in college basketball. I'm gonna go move on my NHL action here in the next short while, but we had Bobano attacking here. God, this is such a big, beautiful Thursday card, and I'm like, feels like I'm capping with a seatbelt on, just a little uncomfortable with.
It sounded like you and Bobano were against each other in every other bet as well. That's what it felt like listening.
Yeah, that'll be the case. That's going to be the case. I'm against him on a lot of these spots, and it's good for him. Rangers first goal, first period, a plus 140. Rangers money line plus 120. Then he's on the Penguins money line as well, plus 165. If you're on the Discord, AM gave that at plus 190 in our Discord.
That's to the Discord.
Pens team total over 2.5 for Bobano. The over 6 minus 114. The draw plus 360. Preds team total over 2.5 and the over 5.5 in Nashville, Florida for Bobano. I'm going to be on the Panthers. I'm going to be on the under 6 in Colorado, New York Islanders. Bobano on the Leafs. I'm going to be on the Carolina Hurricanes. Bobano on the over 6.5. I might get to the Jackets. I've been very disappointed with the way the Red Wings have been playing lately, but I don't want that to get involved. The under 5.5 in Minnesota, Calgary. Bobano's on the Wild money line. Bobano on Seattle to score first in the first period. Money line plus 185. Team total over 2.5 plus 106. We had everybody here on Seattle Kraken. Kent Davies on the Kraken as well. Said this is from Kent Davies, quote unquote, just moved on Kraken plus 178. Huge reverse line move. Revenge spot. And Oilers just announced Pickard, who's trash. The cord likely for Seattle. I think it's a nice spot. The market is clear. I'm sticking with my script. And this line's moved 50 cents against me. And of course, this line can blow me. And I'm going to be on the over as well in this one. That line's going against me as well. You know what? I've been betting a bunch of spots with CLV. That's not working. So why don't we start hammering shit with the line moving against me? Bobano on the Blackhawks plus 190. We have Ronnie Crawford on the Pelicanos and the Detroit Red Wings for plays of the day. He's also on the Detroit Lions. I'm on the Lions minus 3. Bobano on the Lions team total over 27.5. We have Kong's Clips, Texas Tech first half minus 7, and Virginia money line. That together is plus 200. In college basketball, I'm on South Florida plus 105. Don Play asking which one I like better between South Florida and UC Davis. Let me just see what it is right now, because I bet them both at 365. I could have got slightly better, just like we're talking like 2 cents a vig better. Now it's a minus 110 for South Florida. I like that a lot. And now we have sorry, where is the oh, there we go. Oh, it's back to 9. It's back to 9 at UC Davis. That's not good. I like South Florida best. Then we have our guy Jay Peasy. He's on UC Riverside plus 12.5. The respect play today from Res Mob is CSUN first half minus 2.5. In college football, we have in the Big 12 championship, Nick on the under 49.5, BYU, Texas Tech, and BYU plus 13.5. Nick on Georgia money line in the SEC Championship. Cab on Nate Frazier over 16.5 rush yards. Ryan Williams over 44.5 receiving yards. Nick on the under 48 in the Big 10 Championship, and Indiana first half plus 3. And Nick on the over 57.5 in the ACC Championship. We just heard NBA. Looks like Lakers will be my only action here, but I'm not going to bet it right now. I'm going to wait. That is our show for today. Jose, any action for you on this very evening? Look forward to seeing you on the live stream tonight. It's going to be fun. Talk to me. Any action?
Yeah, I'm on UCF with you. I put 2 units on it, but we'll be on it.
Nice.
And I'll be sweating that out with you guys here on the live stream. I'm also, I'm a good producer. I'm a loyal producer, and I'm always down for a group bet. So I will be joining the In the Building guys who put $50 each on the Cowboys money line. So $150 on the Cowboys collectively today. So we'll see how that goes. I don't feel very good about it, but
the books, thank you. The books.
Yes, I'm sure they do. My good friend, who I am now taking, or I guess I'm betting with him now. Disgusting, by the way. I had the chance to play off my winnings via golf now as well, to bet them on the golf course and wipe off some of my losses. I did not take that chance last weekend, and I got killed the weekend before. But so very interesting dynamics I'm growing with my bookie.
Yeah, it's such a weird relationship you have with him. Not you personally, just mean generally speaking. Like mine with Dan is just, it's very strange.
Yeah, it's definitely something I'm navigating. It's very weird for me as well. I was sick having to send him money on Monday, pissed me off, and I'm going to his wedding in January, and my lips will be out in Vegas.
Is this the new one? Your new bookie?
Yes, Jeremy. You've seen him. He's been on camera before. Large man with a beard.
Yeah, I remember. So you don't have your old. You're not using your old guy anymore.
I could. I mean, I have the account and stuff still. I still have my futures on there for the
Do you
Chiefs.
have different Are you using different sites?
Yes, different sites. I go back and forth checking which one is better lines wise. They go back and forth.
We have right now 3.5s across the board, baby.
And by the way, Pubapalooza 5, he'll be ready to sign people up for accounts.
Oh, that'll be dope. That'll be dope.
Yeah, he's like, sign up for it. He's ready. He's got.
He'll be there in the room, I bet.
So I'm saying, so he has like 5 clients, maybe. I don't know. He has like 5 clients right now. He wants everyone's action, and I hope you guys can
take him to the woodshed. Oh, that'll be great.
Because it's this relationship works. She's told me a little bit about it. Like, he doesn't get like full control of the account until he gets to X amount of dollars. So it's a whole thing,
Oh, but it'll be great because we can. Oh, that'll be great. That'll be an asset for all of us. He'll be in that bar and like we're gonna have thousands and thousands. He better be ready.
Okay, well, I'm gonna tell him now. I'll be like, hey man, you're welcome, and I need hella free play for all the people that I'm gonna get you. And that's what he does now. He's like, oh, I'll give you $20 of free play. And I always take your fucking free play and shove it up your fucking ass, dude.
Get at least 5% off all losses.
Kidding me? Yeah, but it's very funny.
Oh, I like that.
I hope you guys destroy him.
I like that. No, I like that he's gonna be here. Just lucky. Thank you for joining us. Rez Mob, Jose Perez, Saturated, Dizzy, Donut, The Godfather, Good, Voodoo Ranger, Don Play. Thank you guys. Truly, thank you. Philly Eagle Flyers, Islanders, no goal, first period. Justin McKelvey, who will be on our show tomorrow. Drewski, great to have Occupancy back in business. Key, parlaying Toronto, Utah Cowboys, and Utah State. Oh, wow. I'm on the other side of 3 of your 4 bets. That's wild. And you don't have any hockey, so you're in big fucking trouble. Fernando Mendoza, The Godfather, Robert Franklin. Thank you guys so much. Truly, Kyle Fields in the house. Kyle, I want to get in touch with you, man. I'm sorry. I just being an absolute mess. How short is our life going to get cut as sports gamblers, man?
My God.
I think 25 years probably I lose. Thank you guys. DC Capper on Green Bay money line. Camel race tomorrow, Godfather. Camel race tomorrow. Yeah, Kyle, I'll be dealing with insomnia. I broke through it. Got 4 hours last night. Thank God. I mean, it's just, oh God. So I broke through it. But Kyle Fields, I'll be in touch, man. Let's get you straight. Let's get you sorted. In fact, Kyle, it'd be fun to get you on tonight, too. The problem is I got Ella's last basketball practice before the Christmas break, so I don't get back home till 20 minutes before the live stream, so I can't quite do it yet, but I promise we'll get that set. DC Capper with us on the lines -3. Jose, thank you for all your hard work, my friend. Have a wonderful night. Look forward to seeing you on the live stream this very evening. Can you please bless our action and lead us into the future?
Yep, I already told my guy, and he said he's going to mark it on his calendar.
Yeah, no, it'd be a fun thing to have him strolling around. Yeah,
yeah, just he's going to be just start, if things go poorly, just start collecting cash, and then for our sake, I hope that he gets slowly
you'll
drained.
be sitting watching the game and a hand will come on your shoulder.
Hey, I need you to, that $100. Oh, God, that's funny. So I hope all that happens for everyone. And shout out to you guys. Come out to Pubapalooza 5, end of March. It's going to be a lot of fun. Book Airbnbs, group up. I promise Justin McKelvey, he doesn't snore, guys. He's a sound sleeper. Sleeps through the night. He just gets up at 4 a.m. That's it.
I like that. I respect that, man.
That's it. So he's a great guy to book with. Nasty Nate's Airbnb gets up Nasty Nate, maybe not such of a morning person. Maybe he'll tell you to go fuck yourself in the morning. But I'm sure he's a great guy to live with.
Oh yeah, he's money. I'm sure he's great in the morning.
Maybe I'll join the Airbnb. I don't know. Fuck it. Who knows?
Why not?
Who knows? Maybe my lips will be out there for everyone to see again. But shout out to you guys. Let's go make some money, especially in hockey. Let's go make some money, especially in hockey. Bobano, we're coming for you tonight. Leche. You little spook.
Milk this motherfucker.